I think we're going to try and put this out for Saturday morning.
So 7 Deuce.
This is Adam Enticknap, aka the 7 Deuce Deuce. As a Supercross racer, he came from the bottom and without a factory ride did the borderline impossible by carving out his own space in the industry.
And I was the very first person to do the road to Supercross through Arena Cross. I had the talent. I didn't have the resources, dude. If I had what Tomac had and my dad and my parents knew, I probably would have been top 10 every single week.
Now with racing behind him, he's carrying that same energy into his Track Talkers podcast.
But we don't have just a quirky, funny ass show where we can laugh about shit going on.
And you and your brother have such a good dynamic. You guys are the Kelsey brothers of Supercross.
Me and Tyler go so hard on each other that we don't talk for a couple seconds.
It's unreal. You can't.
And there's nobody I'm gonna do that with.
Have you ever heard any of like the crazy conspiracy shit?
I know somebody put a hit on somebody.
The history of Supercross and the murderous man behind it.
No way right now. Look at that title.
Deuce is one of my favorite people to do the podcast with. And on Championship Saturday, we proudly present 4 hours of top tier bench racing to get you to the gate drop.
After watching Denver, it was an eye-opener. The championship's on. Somehow, some way, willingness and talent rises to the top. If I had to put my money, it would be Ken Roczen.
What the actual is our sport?
Dude, it's so...
When I watch these clips back, I look like a fucking moron. I don't want to be this fucking guy. You're making me do it. Gypsy Gang, welcome back. Track Talker's very own 7 Deuce Deuce.
What up, boys?
I'm going to interrupt this podcast to bring you a pretty crazy statistic. 70% of people that watch this channel are not subscribed. That does a couple of things. A, that means that you might not be getting served this content the minute that it comes out. And it also just tells YouTube that they're not really worth watching. So if you want to support the podcast, the easiest and quickest, most high impact thing you can do is subscribe to this channel, give this podcast a like, and leave a comment down below to let us know who you would like to see on Gypsy Tales next. We're going to do our best to bring them to you. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
I met a gypsy.
These are supposed to be the best chairs that you can get for like posture and locking in. Like we're
well, you know we're
like
gonna
we're
lock
about
in.
to do.
You know we're gonna lock in.
Emergency podcast with the biggest podcaster in motocross. Track Talker's very own 7 Deuce Deuce.
What up, boys?
It's been 2 years, bro.
Dude, that's crazy how fast it went by. How did it go by that fast?
I have no idea. But yeah, I think it was like August 2024 because it was right after the warehouse burned down.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's like burned in my brain, that fucking chat.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Dude, it's crazy because it feels like it was yesterday.
It
and
does.
too, I can't even it was so much fun. After that day, that podcast, I was smiling ear to ear. That was just a good, wholesome, I felt like we got some stuff off our chest, you know what I mean? And it was just a good pod.
Couple dudes that just love moto, love life.
Right?
So we're like, you know what? Emergency pod.
Emergency.
I think we're gonna try and put this out for Saturday morning. So race fans, if you're listening to this, it's Thursday.
Yes.
Deuce has driven down, and we're gonna send it to try and put this out Saturday morning. For
I think
fans.
we need to,
because the problem is, I was thinking about it on the way here.
Mm-hmm.
We have speculation of who's gonna win this championship, and if we put this out after, it's like the whole thing's it's gonna be too old.
Yes,
So
without
I'm like,
a doubt.
Let's fucking send it. Let's get this out. Let's give the people what they want. Let's speculate. Let's see who's right, who's wrong, who's up, who's down in the tightest championship race in Supercross history.
I can't even tell you the amount of nerves.
You would be feeling it, dude.
The amount of nerves that I have from the sidelines for these boys is insane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so how are we just going straight into this?
Yeah,
or
we're
what?
on. Yeah, we're on.
Okay, who do you think's gonna win the championship? Like this is what I like to do mentally. Okay, so say somebody was like, he walked up to you, he's like, Jase, what's up, bro? I have $1 million in my hand. if you take this $1 million and you bet on the right guy on Saturday night, you get to keep the $1 million. Who are you going to put that money on?
I think that these last 2 rounds being at elevation is the worst thing for Ken Roczen, because Honda have so much horsepower that they can put behind dialing in that bike at altitude.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much more money and time and resources that HRC can put into getting that motorcycle off the line at altitude. And I think we saw it at Denver. And I think that I would say Ken Roczen is at exactly 0% disadvantage on a Suzuki everywhere except these last 2 rounds. And I was kind of worried about that for Ken coming into Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And then exactly what I thought would happen happened.
Yeah.
And so I just think the starts, man, like it's just that HRC bike is going to be so dialed on those starts. And
Yeah.
I think that it's just 50-50 with those guys. Like there's been times where no one's been better than Ken. And then there's been those times where Hunter's by far the fastest Supercross racer on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And I think that you're splitting a hair to pick a winner. But if you said to frame your question,
without question,
to frame your question of $1 million,
yeah,
I would have to go. I just have to think that in 2026, with the full might of Honda HRC, to get those bikes off the line at altitude, if it's $1 million, I gotta put my money there.
Yep, and that's understandable. You know, I after watching Denver, it was an eye opener for sure. You know, seeing that bike come off the line, knowing what those guys did, going to Thunder Valley and doing that testing, it was an eye opener for sure. And you're like, oh shit, you know, the championship's on. And now it's
that's
down.
Serious.
Yes, serious.
Yeah.
And now it's down to 1 point. And I do agree with you. I think you're on the right track with it's going to come down to the start. But you know why we love dirt bikes?
Anything can happen, bro.
No, it's not even that anything can happen. What I love about dirt bikes the most is somehow, some way, willingness and talent rises to the top.
Yeah.
Because if you took Jett, let's just say Jett, and you put him on our Suzuki, do you think that he could beat Hunter this weekend?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that comes down to the willingness and the talent to win.
Yeah.
Right? Or it would be really close. So to me, the advantage and disadvantage is, okay, yes, HRC has a lot of money, and you know damn well they are going to make sure Hunter gets off that line. They're going to do everything in their power behind the scenes. They'll spend $1 million this week if they had to.
Literally.
Right? But what we love about our sport so much is that it's not like NASCAR. It's not like F1.
100%.
It's you can make up. The rider can make up a little bit if the bike isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we've had our bike for a long, long time. So we know what's going on at altitude. We know, you know, it might not be as fine-tuned to the 1% perfect as HRC's bike is, but it's close. Really, really close off the line. The big thing that it's going to come down to is, and I know this sounds crazy, is just who can get over the nerves and who wants it the most.
Yeah.
And these are the things that I've been contemplating all week, right? Is when it comes down to that big moment and you're sitting on that line and your heart, like my heart's racing right now.
I got goosebumps.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're sitting on that line and you're in Ken Roczen's helmet and you're in Hunter Lawrence's helmet. It's like, okay, am I going to be the guy that gets this done right now or not? I mean, I was just watching the little snippet of Eli Tomac and him talking about how Ken Roczen came through the pack, you know, at, I think it was Millville. And then you've seen this whole year of, you know, Ken Roczen's start average compared to where he's finishing. So Ken Roczen can do it. And I really think, I know this sounds crazy, I think whoever's will doesn't get broken this weekend is going to win that race, because we've seen Hunter falter that little bit, you know, when that pressure is on, but we've also seen him rise to the occasion like this weekend.
I was going to say Denver was just the biggest.
He rose to the occasion when he had to, right? But we've also seen Ken Roczen come from what he did to now putting everything out. Oh, Ken Roczen fades towards the end of the season. Oh, Ken Roczen's not that same guy anymore. Well, you're right. He's not that same guy.
He's better.
He's a different man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so now we're talking about will to win and getting it done in that moment. And with the stuff that Ken Roczen has had in his past, he has so much pain and heartache to lean on to want to get that done and the willingness to do whatever it takes. I mean, I am like, I can't even contain the amount of energy, because if I had to put my money, it would be, and this is opposite, but it would be Ken Roczen. And that's because of what I've seen Ken Roczen go through. Yeah. I think in this moment, this is a bigger moment than these guys have ever been in. This is the biggest moment of their lives, probably of their entire life. Right now, this is going to be it this weekend. And you have to figure out how to rise to the occasion. And I'm thinking about, okay, what do you lean on? You got to think Hunter Lawrence is thinking about, or maybe not thinking about, but in the back of his mind, I don't want to be second fiddle to my brother for the rest of my life. I want that 450 championship to my name. I want everything that my parents risked to be me and my brother and I, you know what I mean? And then you got to think Ken Roczen has been through all this stuff, all this pain and hurt, and he should have won so many times. He had the speed, and now he has the moment. And this could really be the last chance for both these guys. Mm-hmm. In reality, it could be. And it's going to come down to that moment when that gate drops in Salt Lake City on Saturday, and it's going to be a straight dog fight, boys. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't even,
I need to breathe. I need to breathe.
It's
so stressful.
I'm like shaking, dude.
Have you ever really thought about hydration? I bet you haven't, but I have, and that's why I am on a mission to hydrate action sports with my new company, Soda Fuel. You can look at any study. Hydration is one of the key factors in human performance. And action sports is about as high performance as it gets, and there are extreme consequences to not being locked in. Find out more about how important hydration is for you, and if you're leaving performance on the table, by heading to sodafuel.com. The fact that one of these guys has to lose sucks so fucking bad, bro.
It sucks so bad.
If you want to, hey, life's not fair. One of these two has to lose. That is the definition of life not being fair. What's fair is Ken Roczen wins the 2026 AMA 450 Supercross champion.
Yep.
What's fair is Hunter Lawrence wins the AMA. Fuck. It's brutal, dude.
Dude, it's brutal. Because I think what makes it so brutal? This is what makes it so brutal, and I just came to the realization. It's not the happiness that the other one is going to get from winning the championship. What makes this so monumental is the heartbreak that they're going to have whoever loses the championship.
And dude,
because the heartbreak for both these guys
is massive.
It's going to set in for the rest of their life, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be the one.
Fuck. It's so shit. Why couldn't a DNF have happened? You know what I mean? Like, just
like make it not so close or something.
This is not fair. This is actually not fair. And let's say
this is why we live for sports. This is why we live for Supercross.
This is too much. This is too much.
It's too much.
This is too much.
Too much.
Let's dial it back. Fucking wrap it up around early. This is fucked up.
Oh.
So if they go 4th and 5th, right?
Yeah.
And then they tie on points, how do they figure it out?
Best guy, I think.
Most second places?
Well, they're tied in wins.
Yeah, they're tied in wins, tied in podiums.
I thought it was so they're tied in podiums too?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
They just need to whoever beats whoever wins.
They're going to have to go to
So Kenny's won had the most laps led if it is that.
Yeah, okay.
But it should beat in this case scenario, whoever beats the other guy should win.
Yeah.
If it's on a technicality like that, that would be crazy.
Because there's like too many ways to look at those technicalities. Because it could be laps led, it could be podium, like it could be second places, it could be fastest qualifiers, it could be fucking whose cock's bigger, like
seriously.
At that point.
Oh.
So yeah, it probably should be just whoever won
Beats
that
whoever.
race. But I mean, dude, even think
I
about
don't see it being 4th and 5th though. I see
1 and 2.
You know what would be the coolest thing ever? You know what would be the coolest, which is not going to happen, but just take everybody off the line. Just call
let
it a
them
day.
go. Yeah,
just call it a day. Everybody just park it and just Kenny and Hunter mano y mano, dude.
Who wins that?
Oh, I can't. I can't.
Fuck. It's so crazy, dude. And think about how heartbreaking. But man, I was rattled after SMX last year. One point, Jett just decides to go, you know what? I'm a winner. Fuck my brother. I'm going to reel in Eli Tomac like 8 seconds in 3 laps and just steal this shit. I stole that shit.
I mean,
Fucking straight 6'9". I stole that shit.
but that's why Jett's Jett, though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're not gonna program that kid different.
Nah.
But I think that's what it takes to be that kind of champion. And I think you're on to this weekend. You're gonna have to be a sicko.
Yeah.
It might come to a front wheel takeout. It might come to that because they might be so close for so long that somebody's gonna have to decide that they're going to want to win more than the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you just go, you know what? Fuck this. This is over. I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Kenny's got some receipts. But that pass, I think that was just a full miscalculation from Hunter. You know, like
without a doubt, I think it was too. He just brain farted.
Yeah.
He brain farted,
and he was going. And hey, glaze. I get it. I get it.
I just say I glaze all the time. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I think that he was passing people so easily.
Yeah.
Doing that, and he had so much speed. And then I can't remember, but I feel like he just didn't get the exit out of the turn before. Still went.
He literally came into that corner, was committed to it, and thought Kenny was going to back off.
Ken was like, nah, bro.
And then he got like that little kick where he couldn't back out for that second. It was the little kick that really toasted the whole. Because it's weird it's weird to explain, but in Supercross, there's these little kicks that sometime will like kind of like pick you up
and unweight you that little bit.
You don't you can't hit the brake because it like does this weird unrhythmic bounce. And that's kind of what happened. And then Kenny was just absolutely railing way faster than he did because he kind of knew what was going on. And then he did that unrhythmic thing and then connection.
Yeah. So Kenny's got that in his pocket. But I mean, hey, final round.
It doesn't matter what you have in your pocket.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I was thinking about this though, because you look at F1, we have a weird sport in that you can just like fully clean a dude out, ruin their race, fuck their championship, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It is weird. And again, I'm probably going to get daggers for this because it's like, yeah, Supercross is for men, bro, brother. So there's that.
Yeah.
But when I think about, that moment, I think about Chase at San Diego on Coop. Like that right there, that derailed Cooper's whole season.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the red flag was like, oh no.
A1, red flag.
And then the Chase Sexton just complete obliteration was like the cap. It was like, oh, we lost rhythm. Yeah, like you said. Yeah. But it was those two things that were just, that was brutal.
But we kind of have a sport where you can just chop people. And it's fine. And it's like I kind of like it, kind of don't. Yeah. In a way, like if you make contact in a Formula One car, then it's you're getting a penalty. Which our sport wouldn't. I don't think our sport needs to go that far because like you're not ripping wings off, you're not puncturing tire. Like it's just so they're like fragile little petals. Those cars.
No, totally, and they're worth like millions and millions of dollars.
But the concept of just not being able to like ruin somebody's race without consequences, I kind of like that. In a way, you
Yeah,
know?
I think I think you're right though. There's a time and a place
Yeah.
because like we're just gonna bring it out. Vince Freeze,
Yeah.
Justin Barsha, it's over the top.
Yeah.
Right. I like both those guys on a
When was the
personal
last
level.
time that Barsha's really hit something?
I mean, this
someone, though?
what 2 weeks ago on Justin Cooper.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, first lap, Justin Cooper. He let up on the berm, and then
I just smacked him.
Justin smacked him. End of the race.
Okay.
You know, and then Justin comes back for his first race. Justin Cooper's in like 4th in the championship, and then you got a guy that's just like could have easily first lap just kind of rode down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, which it does make it exciting. I get that, but at a certain point, there's contact, and then there's contact.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So.
Would you see a change? Like, would you be
And
cool
and
with
that's
the change?
coming from me. That's coming from me. That took 2 guys out in one corner. So
yeah.
I literally took.
I live this life.
Yes, I took 2 guys out in one corner. But I think there's also a time and a place. What would the change be though? You know,
I feel like maybe just like 5 points. It's just like automatic 5 points.
yeah.
Maybe something like that. You know.
I think
Did they?
I like though the new AMA rule of like the what do you want to call it? They call it like rider point system.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't.
What's your problem with that?
It just takes too long to get any kind of result.
Yes.
So like you're essentially not getting penalized.
I think I was going to finish with that was it needs to be more strict. So like you get rider points. So these riders kind of know. I really do like the fact that they know, hey, I'm working with 15 points total. If I'm 15
That's
points,
just
I'm
too
kicked.
much, though.
Yeah, but it is too much unless you go each infraction was 3 points. Then it's like,
Yeah, but that's
oh.
5 weeks of fucking somebody else's.
Yeah, but
know?
it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? It's literally infractions could be cutting the track, taking somebody out, you know, whatever that might be. That would be the infraction. I agree with the rider point system. I do think you are onto it though. They got to be more strict. They got to be more strict of like, hey, this is, you know, that was it. Because I feel like there's weekends where like there's a takeout and then there's nothing. And then there's another takeout where I'm like, that didn't even look that bad. But then he got rider points. It kind of just needs to be black and white. You get
Am
a
I
takeout.
wrong in saying that this has been by far and away the worst year in Supercross history for AMA rule calls?
I bet there's probably ones more in the past, but I will say this. It's been tough.
Atrocious?
I don't know about atrocious.
What else would have to happen for you to say that this year, on an AMA rule calling standpoint, has been horrific?
Let's talk about. I don't think the rule calling is horrific. You know what I think is bad?
What?
This is what's bad about the whole thing, is communication between the AMA and the riders. I think there needs to be some kind of sit down with riders or team managers where everybody knows the rule book, because half the guys go to the riders meeting, half the guys don't. And I heard that at that weekend that Deegan got the penalty in the riders meeting. They specifically said, you will get docked if you go in front of those. And I don't know this is true or not, but I would think, because I'm way guilty of it, after the 10th round, I'm not going to the riders meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm walking the track. I'm looking at the track. I've heard it a million times. But there needs to be some kind of sit down or more communication between the AMA and the riders. Because, okay, I do like that the leader lights at the round that Joe Shimoda, you know, and everybody kind of didn't get docked, got docked. I do like there was lead-in lights, you know, but now that the lead-in lights are all of a sudden this rule that is in light and we can see that, all of a sudden we've now changed it to yellow, which is the exact perfect thing that they should have been, because there should be lead-in lights to give you some kind of warning of a red light, right? So I think, again, good rule, bad communication on the part of like, how do we get this to the riders and then back and forth?
I think that Texas thing to me is like one of the worst decisions. It's like that to me was one of the worst calls ever. Because
But if it's in the rule book, right?
No, but did you watch when Mewey went on? Is it not Mewey? Fucking what's his
Pelletier.
name? Pelletier.
Yep.
Did you watch when he went on the AC and JB show?
No, I
and
did
did
not.
the damage control. He just literally straight up was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know."
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, bro, it was fucking terrible. And it was like, God bless. I know they're employed.
Yep.
I know their deal. And
Yeah.
it would have been like, hey, we're going to get Mike on. We're going to give him a couple of little
lobs,
softballs.
Straight lobs.
Yeah, just
Yep.
fuck it. Just tee it up. Just
Yep.
put it on a stick and let's just call it baseball.
Yep.
But just let him hit it off a stick.
Yep.
And then it gets to, oh, yeah, we don't know. I'm just like, brother, come on. These guys are making millions and millions of dollars. And we don't know.
Like millions.
And we don't know?
Yeah, that's...
We don't know. Well, we fucking should.
Yes.
Because
without a doubt.
you can watch, like, I think, go to the Supercross Companion Instagram because I did a rant. I did a little
I love
blow up.
that. We love a rant. We love a good rant.
Yeah, I haven't had that many this year. I guess I have in a way.
Well, behind closed doors or in front? Because I've had
In
about
front.
a trillion rants.
So where was the go down? Where was my rant about this whole thing? Oh, there. Okay. All right. What's that? All right. What are we fucking doing here, guys? Now, wait. We don't need to... I'll put the audio. Fuck it.
Oh, you know what? I did see this rant.
Yes, bro.
I seen this for sure.
So look at this. Look at this. No, yeah, stationary. Everyone. This is on the fucking last lap. Checkered flag is waving. Now let's watch this. Oh. Eli almost fucking hits the thing. Kenny almost hits it. What do you mean?
See, and you know what the
So we
other...
can pause that now.
Okay, but...
I rest my case.
Yeah, but you know the other problem too? This was my problem with the whole thing, and I'm sure they talked about it on the ACJB show, because I went off on a rant on my podcast too. The lights weren't on. So the other one, the lights were on, the lead-in lights, and then now they're off.
What are we doing?
So then I think what they were trying to do is like, oh, well, we said there was lead-in lights a second ago. Then we didn't give the lead-in lights. So
none of this. I don't give a fuck.
that was a
That was
a tough one.
And so now let's fast forward to Salt Lake.
Okay.
Ken was there.
Yes, he was.
That was
Now, if I could justify, I think
look at that
from my
shit.
team. Yes, right there. But he's already committed. If you rewind that a little bit, he was in front of him. You know what I mean?
But-
like da-da-da-da-da.
So
But either yes,
but yeah, right.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
The whole thing sucks. And they need to rethink the whole thing. But when you got guys that are almost hitting the flag on the up ramp and you don't penalize them, and then you penalize a guy, so the Jett thing, right? So Vince was in the middle of the takeoff. In the middle of the
in the middle of the double.
So if Jett,
I remember this.
if Jett rolled
Dink.
Jett gets penalized for jumping the jump, right? If he rolled the jump, he wouldn't have got penalized, but he would have T-boned Vince Free. What the actual fuck is our sport? When this is what happens every single fucking year, Deuce.
Dude, it's so
I don't want to be this guy. I know that when I watch these clips back that go on the internet and get hundreds of thousands of views, I look like a fucking moron. I know that I look like a fucking moron. I know that I sound like a dickhead. I don't want to be this guy.
quit.
I don't want to be this fucking guy. You're making me do it.
Oh.
I hate myself.
I'm glad we can laugh about this because there's gonna be some mad people.
And Feld fucking hates me. And the fans fucking hate me. And I hate me.
No, that's not true. That is so not true. I think everybody actually loves you, but the problem is you only see the hate comms, dude. I hate the hate comms. The hate comm people are the worst.
No, I'm fine with them, to be honest.
Cool.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it really fucking pisses me off. But what am I supposed to do?
No, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If you have an opinion, you make it. And I agree with you on that. This is the issue with it. This is the whole issue. If I'm just like, because I always like to do this. I like to go, okay, if I'm AMA, what am I thinking? If I'm Adam, what am I thinking? Adam, the rider, is like, what are we doing here? AMA is like, shit, we made a rule about lead-in lights. We had the lead-in lights. Then some guy rolled for the lead-in lights a second ago. And then we didn't penalize anybody just a second ago in the 250 class. Then we go to the 450, and then the lead-in lights are broke. What do we do?
I don't care. Like, and that's the point, right? Is it's like, hey, guys, you're supposed to be, like, this is the elite of the elite.
Amen.
This is the top of the top. Yep. And this is where all of my little rants
be the best
that I go on is like, we're supposed to be the best. We are the best. This is the best series. The top riders in this sport are making millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
Be better for the fans. Be better for the people that invest all of their time and all of their free energy, and like the people that fill your stadiums, the people that watch every single weekend.
Yeah.
Be better for them. Be better for us.
Yeah, but
it's like,
I get that, but I think you need to be the best for the riders.
Yeah.
Because I built my career off the fans. I love the fans more than anybody in this world. But the riders put in so much effort. These teams are spending so much money on racing, and they are looking.
Hey, bro, the teams are paying every mechanic has to pay to get a credential. Every team manager that stands in that tower has to pay to get a credential. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki pay the series hundreds of thousands of dollars. They pay to park the fucking trucks.
Yep.
You want to get a wristband to bring your girlfriend, that's $80 fucking.
Yep.
They are paying so much money to be here and participate in the sport. There's no rev share. There's no, like, there's not the TV. Like, that's a whole thing.
Yep.
We don't even have to go there.
Nope.
But fucking get it right.
Yeah.
It's 20 bikes riding in a stadium. Yeah. And make the right calls to move the fucking goalposts, to move the chains forward.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, maybe flags don't work. Maybe the lead-in lights and a guy that's like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
And again, there's a dead horse over there and I'm just going to keep on flogging it. Fucking comms.
Yeah.
All of these situations, you got one race director. Let's forget mechanics talking to riders. Let's forget all of it. Let's also forget this absolutely fucking nonsense argument that it's going to distract the riders, because it doesn't. Yeah. 1,000,000%. Every rider will say the same fucking thing. When it comes to safety and fairness of the sport, like if you said to Hunter Lawrence, hey, helmet comms would have got you the 5-point penalty or whatever, would you wear them? Yes. To Tomac, helmet comms would have stopped Vince Freeze cross-jumping you in that rhythm section at Indy.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, all of these guys want it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take an investment. Someone's going to have to foot the bill. But hey, they're making fucking plenty of money. Like, let's be proactive and move the chains forward, because like whatever the fuck the lead-in lights of this, it's not working.
Yeah.
The same shit over and over. And then it makes it so easy to enforce your rules.
Yeah.
The problem is right now, how the fuck do you enforce the rules? Like, and I don't feel sorry for the AMA, but I can see how this shit happens, because it's like, who's the guy that radioed the guy to hold out the flag, to press the button for... That's a mess.
Yeah, but then you're opening another can of worms too. I got a lot of thoughts. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, you go. Yeah.
So I've been thinking about this a lot, because I'm against helmet comms, but I'm also with helmet comms.
What are you against them for? Like, what's the things you don't like about them?
Okay. what I don't like about them, right? So you still have to have a flagger because what if Tomac goes, oh, I didn't hear him?
I think you definitely still have to have a flagger.
Yeah, like,
for sure.
okay, so what if you have a helmet comm and you say, oh, I didn't hear him?
But I just
Oh, I
don't
didn't
think
hear him.
I don't think that excuse. I don't think that excuse flies because you have the ability to record everything. So like you can record
Yeah, I get
from
that,
the helmet,
but like,
you know.
I get the recording part, but that's like my first first thought was like, okay, I didn't hear him.
It's 2026.
Number 2, right? Number 2 is Supercross is insane. And I know you don't think so. I know that, you know, it's like, okay, it's not going to bother you. If you're in the middle of the whoop section, right? And you're trying to clutch and you're hitting a cross thing and somebody goes in your ear, hey, yellow flag at this moment. And you just dab the clutch wrong for like a millimeter and drop the front wheel. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if that happens?
Do you actually think that that's like? Have you ever rode with it?
Yes, I do think that's possible. Now, I do think that's very viable. But this is the other thing I'm also thinking about. Why aren't we fucking trying it?
That's what I'm saying.
Why aren't we trying it? That's the big thing. Is like, okay, there is a lot of problems with the situation in my mind for Supercross, right? I don't personally think that I would want a helmet comm in my helmet to talk. But why aren't we trying it? What's the deal? There's been plenty of times where I've been wrong. I admit it. I've been wrong before. It can help in so many ways, like especially with lap riders, keeping people safe, knowing whether there's a down rider. You know what I mean? Hey, section 5, down rider off to the right side, stay left. Boom, quick, done. Totally avoiding, could completely save somebody. Obviously, you have to have a right communicator, but these are the things that you're going to work out as things progress with helmet comms. Yeah. I think you have to try it. What's a helmet comm system going to cost for 40 guys in the 450 class? Let's not even talk about the 250 guys. Let's just start with the 450 guys. How much could it cost? 50, 60 grand?
Yes. It's so negligible to a company that is selling
Let's wing it.
Yeah.
Let's wing it. Let's give it a shot.
And the crazy part is, bro, I fucking know the people at Formula One.
Yeah.
I've had the conversation with the people at Formula One.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we'll help. And then I've told that to the people that need to hear it.
Yeah.
And do you think I've ever got an email back? Do you think I've ever, oh, yeah.
Yep. No, I think it's something. I think the nets were a good idea. You got to give Steve a shout out. I think that was an excellent idea. But I think as the sport progresses in safety, I think helmet comms could be huge. Yeah. I think there's a lot of kinks you got to work out. But this is the thing, though. For rider safety in a sport that is this gnarly already, we got to take a shot.
Yeah. And that's my whole thing.
We got to take a shot.
Yeah.
You know, it could get shot down, okay? We'll resell them on eBay. There's got to be some motorcycle guy running across the country.
Bro, the amount of money that I fucking spend every year is absurd.
Yeah.
To just buy new cameras, buy new equipment, fucking hard. Mate, there's a cost to doing business. The cost of doing business is fucking constantly reinvesting in your business. Like, I just have zero sympathy or that whole argument of cost when you're a fucking $1 billion company, it just doesn't fly with me at all. Especially when there's people out there that are willing to do it. But it's like, they probably want to sponsor and maybe this company. And it's like,
I would agree with you. Those are things that
because you might have heard things about maybe this company that can sponsor it. And no, don't fucking do that.
No.
It doesn't need to be a deal. It doesn't need to be a brand. This is about rider safety, and not just safety. It's about integrity. This is like the integrity of the sport. In 1995, 250 Supercross main event on 2 strokes, the guys realistically are going slow as fuck.
Yeah.
By comparative.
Without a doubt. It's not even a question.
Yeah. And anyone that thinks differently, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Okay. For all the haters in the comments, we know that one of those guys could go fast on a new bike.
Oh, for sure.
But back then,
Yeah.
they were going slow as shit because that's all the bike could do.
Yeah, barely making, like if you, and dude, the amount of people that sat there and like, dude, if you could jump at Supercross triple every lap on a 125, you were getting on the podium.
Boom.
Bro, those days are done. And
ya.
this is the thing, and this is why I'm just like always carrying on the way that I am. It's because it's like, we have to move forward. These guys now, bro, Ken Roczen and Hunter Lawrence right now are at a level that is so ridiculous, so unfathomable. And if you walk the track after a 250 Supercross main event, it is fucking mind-blowing what these humans and motorcycles have been able to get to. We're living in a complete, like, we're living in a Supercross simulation with how fast these guys are able to go.
And you know what's funny? As I think about this all the time too. Like, I guarantee you I know this sounds crazy, but I'm a crazy person. In like 1,000 years, they're going to look back and they're going to be like, dude, Ken Roczen, these guys were fucking nuts. Yeah. They were doing this with no protection. Yeah. They were just like, there wasn't no like bubble button or float button or nothing. They just full consequences and they were doing this. Like in 1,000 years, people are going to be like, Supercross was the craziest shit. I can't even believe a human would risk their body to do this. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, think about it.
Yes.
And they're going that fast.
Every single week. They've had one weekend off. You know how long ago Anaheim feels like, bro?
Dude.
You know how much random shit I've done?
Yeah.
Between now and then?
Yes.
And these dudes are still grinding it out week in and week out. And they're alive. They're still alive. And it is so mind-blowing. It makes no sense what these dudes are able to do.
No, you know what makes no sense? This is probably like, I sit in my bed and I think about this. And I'm sorry, Ryan Dungey, but I do think about you when I'm falling asleep. How did this guy make it through his whole career like that? I just sit there and think about it. What did he break? I think he broke fractured a vertebrae and broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
Like his entire career.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I did that by the time I was 5. You know what I mean? Like, by the time I was 5 years old, I already had those injuries.
And he raced Tomac, Stu,
and beat him.
Reed, Villo.
He won the championships against him. That's the thing. So he pushed that edge and won the championship. And then you see him at Nashville, the Whole Shot Challenge or whatever, right? And like, I have no room to talk because I got the dad bod, but like everybody's like kind of older and chubby and like
still just chiseled, bro.
Just like a athlete still, just like Greek god, just like cut. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, dude, damn.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Dungey's just better than me.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know.
Me too, bro. It's fine.
Okay.
Me
cool.
too.
Yeah. I'm not the only one. Okay, cool.
No, dude, you're so, bro. Think about Danger Boy. How do you ride like that?
This is something I was thinking about the other day too. Like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna say it. We don't even need to say it. Just keep doing you, boo.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
For
like,
real.
How is this kid this loose, but not?
Yeah.
He does pirouettes and shit and just blah, blah, blah. But you know, I was thinking about it as well. I think that has to do with his body type. And he got blessed, you know, with that little Brian Deegan brick shithouse body. Yeah. He's just so dense and like his limbs aren't as long, so there's not as much leverage.
Yeah.
He's got the perfect, you know,
physique.
It's not even,
it's anatomy.
It's the anatomy, but it's like the perfect size to be a dirt bike racer to get the longevity out of not being an injury-prone person.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got the muscle, he's like a little solid, he's real dense, and he's just the right size to have the not be injury prone is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems like he keeps going and going and going.
And just skill. Like there's skill in falling, like the Hangtown crash that you reference. Dude, he's legit like spotting the landing.
Like a cat or something.
Yeah.
Like, did he look back?
You know when you see, oh yeah, like pull up his Hangtown crash. So, you know when you...
So like, you know those cats like on Animal Planet when they slow-mo and they like look behind them?
Let's watch Deegan and then let's watch a cat.
Let's do it. Because I'll bet you it's pretty close.
Oh yeah.
It's that one up top, isn't it? Up. That's not it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there it is. Go back.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Knowing Brian though, he probably put him in like gymnastics or something.
No, but he was like a mad scooter kid.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay,
scooters, trampolines, BMX. Like he fucking rips a BMX.
Oh, there's
bike, bro.
Levi.
So watch this shit. So wait, dude, and just bang. So watch
Okay,
this.
hold
Watch
on,
his
hold
head.
on.
Watch his head. Watch his head. He's looking. Look. See?
Oh!
Dude. See? Go back. Watch his head. He's just straight looks and spots his landing.
Bro, right now that's all slow motion. Like you think it's happening fast for you, but it ain't for him.
Nah. So yeah, go all the way down and then just watch the head turn.
Boom.
There, bang. Knows exactly where he is in space. So now go to like a cat.
Seriously.
go to like a cat falling.
It's gonna be really close. These people, we're gonna trip out. We're gonna laugh. Like cat doing backflip or spotting landing or something like that. Cat spotting landing.
There we go. Let's. So yeah,
there you go.
Right there. That one there, probably good. So watch this little fucker. Oh, come on.
Look at how cute it is. I'm not really a cat guy.
I hate cats, bro.
Yeah, I'm not really a cat guy, but like.
I hate cats. So he goes
goes up.
Watch him spot the landing.
Boom. Danger boy.
Nah.
Turns still not even as good.
Not twisting. Go back. There's got to be something that proves. What about the trampoline one here? Or maybe the backflip ain't the move. It's just too easy. Oh my god.
Oh, that's AI for sure. Or it's in reverse. Just put cat spotting landing. It'll come up. People go crazy on this stuff.
Go back. There was like a full video that was like 4 compilations. Keep going back. Oh, no, down that one there, yeah. Yeah, try that one.
No, this is failing. Our boy doesn't fail.
That's true. He doesn't fail. But yeah, I mean, so he's just on some like gnarly athlete type shit, you know? He's just got crazy aerial awareness. Let's see if we're moving on after this. This doesn't work. This ain't it. This ain't it, brother.
Put cat spotting landing.
I wonder if
just try it.
No, wait. Slow motion flipping cat physics smarter every day.
Oh, there we go.
11
now we're
million
talking.
views.
Yes, this is what we wanted.
This is all right. Go to that most viewed bit. Go back. There.
Yeah, right there.
Try that.
Let's see the physics on this bad boy.
Oh my god, this is kind of crazy.
It's Deegan.
It's fucking.
It's Deegs.
That's
look at the way his eyes are locked. Do you think I recognize that laser focus?
That's what I'm saying.
Cat-like reflexes.
So go to where it's like the peak view. I think go back here. Yeah. No.
I don't know. We're not getting
bit of a fail, but anyway,
yeah, that's all right.
So he's just got that crazy aerial awareness from doing flips and somersaults and.
But it's also like, it's just DNA, dude. This is what I've been finding out. Like, sadly, unfortunately,
Bro,
some people
genetics is everything.
Some people just have better genetics.
Yeah.
And the cream is going to rise to the top.
Yep. Jett Lawrence.
Hayden Deegan.
Yep.
Eli Tomac. Yep. Ken Roczen.
Yep.
Hunter Lawrence.
Bro, fucking genetics. Ken Roczen, like, that's some post-World War II came out of a fucking lab they tried to close down, but he kind of snuck through.
He snuck through.
He's a freak, brother.
He's
freak.
Ken Roczen. That's what I'm saying. You just can't. There's nothing. He's built.
Yeah.
He's built.
He would have been professional at literally anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
If he wanted to play soccer, if he wanted to be a cyclist, any single sport that Ken wanted to do, he was going to be one of the best in the world.
Unfortunately, for all the rest of us, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like God gives us both hands.
Yep.
He was just like,
go
on, Kenny.
I would have loved his like metabolism. You know what I mean? Like just.
Yeah, you didn't get that, did you?
No. I didn't get
You
that
husky.
part. Yeah.
You husky.
Yeah.
I like it though.
I see it, I eat it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You're on the seafood diet.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, seafood diet.
Bro, yeah, just shredded.
Oh,
shredded.
And no matter what, too. Like, too, I mean, there's been times like where we go out, we were out at Castillo's, and, you know, we'd come back and he'd just eat a double cheeseburger, whatever, you know, double cheeseburger and fries. I mean, it was habit, so it was like fresh. And then he'd go out the next day and 26 laps, 4 seconds a lap faster than everybody else, and do it first moto when it's all muddy, and then go on with his day and do his thing.
Yep.
And that was it. And there was nothing you could do about it.
Yep.
Don't know what to tell you.
He would come to the house. So we had a house up on the hill in Temecula, and then he had an apartment with his dad.
Yeah.
And that apartment wasn't very fun. In comparison.
I could imagine.
In comparison
I could imagine.
to our house.
Yes, I could imagine.
We moved into our house and we bought a hot tub and a massive TV and a PlayStation. And that's it. We had a cooler before we had a fridge, but we had a hot tub.
Bachelor pad.
Yeah.
Bachelor pad.
And Kenny used to come up, big day at the test track.
Yep.
Come back. There'd be a 6-pack of Coronas in the fridge. He'd fucking strip off. He'd walk into the hot tub. Crush some beers.
We're not saying he's doing anything, but you know what I mean?
Not back. Hey, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a lights kid. And
that's just what Kenny does, though. That's what people don't understand.
And it's wild, too, because you hear the guys that say, I need to have fun. I need to enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the best out of myself.
Yeah.
And 90% of people, it's just a cope. It's just a cope for not actually wanting to do the work and not actually. No, Ken actually does need it. Ken needs to be having fun with a good crew, with good people around him. You give him those things, bro, he'll do you 60 laps at the test track. Yeah. He'll give you
whatever you need.
Just make it fun. And you'll keep him there.
But it's not even fun. And I don't know Kenny to that extent. Obviously, I've had some good times with him at the test track. But this is the one thing I learned from Kenny, and that like really opened my eyes. And I haven't really seen it in very many people. But Kenny is the guy where whatever he thinks needs to be done, as long as that gets done for him,
yeah, he's good.
He'll be able to do whatever it is on this planet. If Kenny thinks he needs to go to the store and slam a Red Bull and a bean and cheese burrito, that's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And then he'll do it.
Let him cook.
If he needs to go home and have this perfectly cooked, healthy meal from Courtney, and he gets that, he's going to do it.
Yep.
That's just Ken Roczen. Yep. I don't know what to tell you. Whatever he thinks he needs is what he needs. And if he gets it, he'll be able to do anything in the world.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool too. I was thinking about this the other day. He's obviously changed so much.
Yeah.
Since 2010, at least as far as I've known him, right? Mm-hmm. He's changed so much.
Yeah.
But he hasn't changed at all. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
Like he hasn't changed. Yeah. He's still the exact same, like just the core, like whatever's right there in the center of him, his heart, his whatever it is.
Yeah.
That dude hasn't changed. But he's evolved in such a massive way. And I fucking respect that. You know, when you can have so many things change and you get so much like better in your life, you know, like look at where he is in his life, like amazing husband, amazing father, like just an incredible career. And he's gone through all of that change and he's literally the same dude.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about myself in the last 8 years of doing this, and it's like, fuck, I feel like I'd like to think that I'm the same, but like I'm probably not in the same way that he is, you know, like he's just still the same guy.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. And that whole situation is hard because I'm in the same boat. You know, like I've tried to keep core of who I am the same, right? But whether we like it or not, I have kids.
Yeah.
Your priorities majorly change. Wife, kids at home, you got to make sure everything's taken care of. You go from prioritizing yourself and being the number one thing, and all you do is this one thing. That's all you do. And every ounce of energy goes into just making yourself better at this one thing. And then you change into this person that, okay, these people are relying on you. This is your blood, right? And you're providing for these people. And to not change is impossible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to just keep the pieces of yourself that you love, because if you don't keep those pieces, right, you're going to be ruined inside and you're just going to hate yourself. So you have to try to keep the pieces of yourself that you love the most, right? But also adapt to what's going on, because you have to be more. And I think that's what Kenny's doing right now, and that's what he's doing this weekend, is he's become more. He's more than he was in 2017. Because, man, dude, when Ken Roczen had that crash in 2017, right? 2018? 2017. When he had that crash, he had to feel invincible.
Oh.
Like literally nothing could go wrong because I am so good that it is just not going to happen, right? And then it did. And all of a sudden, you change from this one person that's completely invincible to this person that's like, oh my gosh, it happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? And then now you've dragged yourself all the way back to one point within the championship. And now you know that side and you know this side. And you've now curled it into this ball of becoming who Ken Roczen is today. And that's I think that's the point that I was trying to make at the beginning, was like, if he has done that, which he has, in that moment, how are you going to beat that guy? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like going to war, me going off to wherever and going to war, versus somebody that's already been to war.
Yeah.
When you meet, you either have to be this guy on a whole nother level of talent and you were meant to be the one going to war, or you ain't going to beat that guy. You know what I'm saying? Their experience is just, it's not going to beat it. And the hardship, right? I mean, look at what happened to you with your whole ship burning down, right? How much has that changed you and evolving this whole thing and just everything, and how invested you are in this program?
Yeah. And I think if you are right. And I remember thinking, like, remember when Ken won again? Was it Arlington that he got the win? What race was it?
I thought it was Indianapolis.
Was it Indy? Indy. Bro, like, I remember when he won that race being so happy for him, like he just closed a chapter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I remember having a tear in my eye.
Like, almost like that was it.
Yeah, like, dude, you're good.
Yeah.
You fucking did it, bro.
Yep.
Like, you beat this.
Yep.
That was one win. And it took him, 3 years to get back there, right?
He laid on his bike.
Yeah. Fast forward, 6 years later, 5 wins in a season and in the hunt for the championship. Like, dude, just, he could have rolled off the track at Indy and everyone is just like,
It would have been with the best career, one of
like,
historical.
yeah, dude,
Historical.
you are the fucking man. Everyone. If he walked away that day and then look, like that's what when I think about Ken and when I think about everything that he went through, I think about that like, dude, that one win, you could have just walked away a hero.
Literally.
A hero. And no matter what happens, if Hunter wins on the weekend, he's still a hero.
Yes.
But just think about how much further he pushed and to get to be this guy. Like you were gonna die a hero.
Yes.
And now you're a fucking legend, bro. Like you are so far beyond even that guy. And I didn't think it could get much better. Insane, bro. It's one of the craziest stories in sport. Like you think about Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Like cancer, like gnarly. Went through cancer, came back, won multiple Tour de France. That is so iconic.
Yeah.
This is on par.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because the cancer and it didn't take away his ability to ride his bicycle.
Yeah.
None of his limbs that propelled his bicycle were affected.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, and both of them, because of what happened with Coop.
Yeah, people forget about that all the time.
So it's like you take the controls that literally hold the motorcycle that you were racing at this absolutely absurd level.
Yeah.
And then you mangle both of those control points on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That to me, again, Lance going through what he went through, remarkable.
Yeah.
But none of his extremities that controlled his bicycle were maimed. Ken Roczen was maimed.
Yeah.
If
his arm, like he's in a wrist brace. He's just stuck.
Dude, if that happened to Ken in war, he is medically discharged.
Paid for life.
On, he would get a act of valor, Purple Heart. He would have got everything.
Yes.
If he
the
was
whole nine.
Everything, dude. And
Matt Donnie T got his little thing, you know what I mean? Had a plaque and all that stuff.
They called that $1 million wound, but I didn't see me a penny of that money. The government must have kept that money because I didn't see a dollar. I must have had me about 13 Dr. Peppers. But if that happens, so think about this. He's in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Bang. One arm gets mangled. Goes back, rehab. They're like, nah, bro, you're done. Medical discharge. Mm-hmm. You're a fucking war hero.
Yeah.
You're getting paid for the rest of your life. And he's like, fuck that. I'm going back. Another tour of Vietnam. The next arm gets done, bro. And they're like, this is it.
Hey, and then it comes down to one fight. Mano-a-mano against the biggest guy and a Ken Roczen. And they only got one bullet left.
Legit.
And whoever shoots the one bullet wins the entire war. And it's up to Ken Roczen.
Fuck. But think about that. 2 tours maimed in each one. And they're like, okay, this time you can't go back, bro. You're retired. You've got the Purple Heart. Donnie T sucked you off. All right? You can't go back. And Ken says, hey, fuck y'all.
Yep.
I have unfinished business. I'm going to win. How many races has he won now since 2017? He's won every season, I think, since almost every season. Yeah, fucking 10 wins. Just unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable.
And then, too, how does Kenny do? I mean, I know it's just like the glaze Kenny, but okay, what about High Point when he just came back for a random outdoor and almost beat Jett? Just randomly comes back and says, yo, what up?
Because Griff's like, Dad, you should race. And he's like, yeah,
that's a good idea,
I
Griff.
probably should. Yeah.
That's a good idea, Griff.
Oh, God, the guy's a fucking legend.
Love it.
Absolute legend.
It's crazy, too, because we talk about Ken Roczen a lot, right? And then you also think about Hunter and his story. Like everybody, that's the crazy thing is everybody has their story.
That's what makes sport so great, but it's also what makes Supercross so great. And I mean, we're so blessed. Like I was just at Formula One all weekend.
Yeah.
And I walk into the pits.
Yeah.
And reserve drivers are coming up to me, and mechanics are coming up to me, and team principals are coming up to me, and they just fucking geeking on Supercross. All of them. The amount of who's winning the championship, like the level of respect, and I think as well, like for the fans that when I was going on my rant, I'm saying I don't want to be this guy. I fucking hate being this guy.
Yeah.
I care so much. Because I feel like you're the same. Like,
without a doubt.
We see what the general population doesn't see. Like, we're not the biggest sport in the world. But we have...
No, we're not even close, actually.
Not even close. And we have the best athletes. We have the best racing. I'm at Formula One, and I didn't even watch the race.
Yeah.
I'm just talking. I'm like in meetings, like
totally.
It's like it's a work thing.
Yeah.
I'm not there to watch the racing. I go home, I put it on the TV, I catch up, I dive in.
Yep.
Because you can't watch the race.
Yeah.
We're on the paddock club, and it's the start straight.
Yeah.
50 seconds later.
Yeah.
That's the experience of watching
That's it.
F1.
Yeah.
We get to go into a fucking stadium, sit in a suite if you're so lucky to do that, with food and drinks and service, and it's all in front of you.
Yeah.
You can see the entire race. You can watch every single second of every single race from a fucking amazing view inside an awesome stadium.
Yep.
It is so incredibly rare. MotoGP is the same. That sport, unbelievable. Formula One, unbelievable. They just don't have what we have.
Yeah.
Like, we have such a special thing that you can take our sport and the best racers in the world with these absolutely incredible stories. Charles Leclerc, fantastic athlete. Grew up in Monaco to a wealthy family, came from a lineage of F1 drivers, gets paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to go and sit in his race car.
Yep.
With all due respect, Hunter Lawrence is way more savage than you. And he would tell you that.
Why do you think that every other sport loves our sport?
Yeah.
Because they know what we're willing to do to put it on the line.
Yep.
They're like the only other people that I know, and it's a whole different thing, that are willing to risk that much is like maybe a bull rider. Because they could like die every single time they go out. That's like, that to me is just
so equivalent, except there's not 20 other bulls.
Well, and two, it's only 6 seconds, right? Or 8 seconds.
So, but you're right. And I think that like, MotoGP is like the gnarliest thing in comparison. I think like...
Yeah, but it's still like, okay, yes, yeah, yep.
I think that if you want to draw a comparison to like how gnarly bull riding, yes. But I think that...
I'm saying just risk. That's it. Bull riding risk factor.
You watched the Marc Marquez highlight crash reel?
Yes, but this is my what do you want to call it? Argument. Marc Marquez, crazy crash. How many of those do you think though that he's had in his career?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those guys go down 1/100th of a time. And two, when they do go down, the biggest thing they got to watch out for most of the time is the curb. You know, you just got to watch for that curb. You can't hit the curb with your butt on the ground. But you're in leathers, you're sliding across a flat surface.
Airbags.
It's
gotten a lot safer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supercross, one wrong move the next jump's coming to KO you.
Yeah.
Like that. And I guarantee you, if you've asked Ken Roczen, he's crashed multiple times this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big ones that no one ever hears about.
Well, and not even big ones, but like he's tucking front at their test track, every couple weeks minimum. Right? Boom, on the ground. And if you don't tuck your foot in and do that, but that's how it works in Supercross. You're not, what's the saying we always say? It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
With dirt bikes. There's no getting around it. You're going to crash.
Yeah. So that's where I'm saying, like, when I get so fucking heated about this shit and when I carry on and make myself look like a complete wanker, it's because
I love it.
It's because I have these conversations. I'm in these other rooms.
Yes.
With these other sports where these guys are making so much more money and have so much more visibility. And they all say the same shit. Like, bro, how is Supercross not bigger? How is Supercross not better? How?
Yeah.
And it's like, we know. Like, we just sucked Ken Roczen off for an hour. Like,
but this is the thing, though. Let's get to the bottom line of everything, right? It's because dirt bikes in general.
I don't think so.
Dude, it is.
What makes you think that?
Because why does everybody watch F1? And this is my take. Okay, everybody has a car. Everybody's driving a car on a daily basis. And F1 is the absolute pinnacle of anything car. If it's in an F1 car in 20 years, it's going to be in your Honda Accord. That's the way that the valves are going to work, is that. And everybody knows that this is the innovation from a car, right? Soccer. Everybody goes to the store, Dick's Sporting Goods, buys a soccer ball. Biggest sport in the world, right? You can go buy a football. The hardest thing about our sport isn't how cool it is. Every single person that I introduce to Supercross is hooked on Supercross instantly. But it's people, there's not enough people that are buying dirt bikes and see it. You got to get people to it. Everybody's driving a car. Everybody's kicking a soccer ball. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. Not everybody's riding a dirt bike.
All right. Okay, I see you. I hear you.
Okay, I love it.
Can you please Google, are there more cars on planet Earth or motorcycles?
Okay, dirt bikes. Because MotoGP is big. Dirt bikes.
That you can't buy a MotoGP bike.
You can buy a street bike. You can buy a scooter that goes on the street.
I think that developed countries use more cars and motorcycles, with the latter being
without a
reserved
doubt.
for
That's no
recreational
question.
purposes. The greatest disparity data shows that only 10%. Go to this one. Are there more motorcycles or cars in the world? The correct answer about
600 million, and there's 1.4 billion cars.
Okay, so I was wrong. How many fights have you been in? Fist fights, physical, like actual real fights?
One when I was a kid. Not real though. Kid fights, you know what I mean? Bullshit.
The UFC is fucking huge.
Yeah.
You think all the people that watch
the
the UFC get into fights?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're working against something that's the tale as old as time. How did we get shit done when we were cavemen?
We want to be entertained.
I'm making excuses.
Yeah. I think that, like, I understand, and they're like, it's semi-valid, but you can't buy a F1 car. And when you go to the F1, I can guarantee you, I was just there.
Yep.
None of those people give a fuck about the cars.
It's the vibe.
Yes. It's the entertainment.
It's the aura.
It's the vibe. It's the aura.
Because it's what's presented by F1.
Exactly. So, I'm saying we have a better...
But they've built that brand into that as well.
The promoters.
Yes, without a doubt. Okay.
Have promoted.
Yes. I agree.
So, there's such a calculated effort. But you have to look... I'm sorry for cutting you off. No.
You have to look to where we came from. Like dirt bikes, we have finally changed into something. I still get people asking me, "Oh, can you do a backflip?"
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously it's changed a lot.
That's such a real thing, yeah.
But the other thing right? And love Deegan, love all those guys. But the other thing is like, oh, do you guys like just like party? You guys are badasses, huh? You guys just party and you guys are just, how much effort does it take to ride a dirt bike? That's because of movies and we are just starting in 2026 to become like real, like seen from the public as real athletes.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like you're right. But I just feel like all of this is a communication problem. I just don't think it has anything to do with dirt bikes not being something that people understand or like, because again, you can't buy an F1 car and the people that are going there aren't going there because of the cars and they don't know anything about the sport. It's the vibe, it's the look, it's the aura, it's the access, it's the way that it's presented. Dude, probably had like fucking $40,000 worth of tickets around my neck on lanyards from the F1. It's just all this, it's like a vibe thing.
Yeah.
And it's like people want to go there to be seen. And that is a very strategic and that's like messaging.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with the sport itself, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just think that these guys are the best kept secret.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there's so many we're never going to get to F1. I'm not saying that we're going to ever get to F1. And maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic, but I don't even think we have to. I don't even think we have to get there. We probably don't want to get there. We probably don't want to get to a place where these guys are making fucking $300 million.
Why not?
Yeah, because then, yeah.
Why not?
Do
you mean?
I don't think anyone should make that much. I don't think you're a human at that point. I think you turn into some like weird.
But that's what they've made it into. You're more than human. But like, this is my argument. I don't know if you only control the boys but when was the first like F1 race versus when was the first ever motocross race? Like a professional motocross race.
First F1 race was 76 years ago. It's a 76-year of F1.
Yeah, so we're not that far away.
We're not that far.
No.
I thought we were farther.
No, dude. That's what I'm saying.
76, that's it? When was the first motocross?
I think we're like 50 years of Supercross.
It's 50 years of outdoor.
No, yeah, let's do Supercross. How long ago was the very first Supercross, which would have been the
70-something?
Super Bowl of Supercross, right?
Yeah, 70 something. Is there another water bottle up there? Can I have that water bottle? And can I have a Gypsy Juice as well? You want to try some soda fuel? You haven't tried it yet, eh?
Yes, I want to try it. What do you mean?
Love that.
Can I say one thing that I think will
Yes.
add access to dirt bikes?
What?
It's going to be the e-bikes.
Yeah, I think the e-bikes definitely.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys follow anything, but there's
Do we follow anything?
one, or at least e-bike world, not dirt bike world. But Kanye West's kid Saint,
Yeah.
Oh, without.
he's
Yeah,
really,
you see that?
Did I see it?
really into it.
Yeah.
He's brought more people to these e-bike races that gets more people into dirt bikes. Because now I'm seeing Ekman Helen, these kids
Yeah.
that I see race on Surrounds,
Yeah.
are now racing dirt bikes.
Don't go a full packet. It'll probably be a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
so we got the formula down?
manage your dose.
What are
bro.
we doing? Half a packet?
Yeah, I'd say half a packet and just see where you're at. Because yeah, otherwise I just think it's a bit too much. But you want to have, this is like, if you have one of these a day, like a full one, you're chilling. So I try and spread it out.
So
you know?
what are we doing with this? What's the sales pitch?
Well,
Give me the sales pitch.
we're on a mission to hydrate action sports, bro.
I like that.
You wait till you taste this.
Okay.
No sugar,
Hold on.
no bullshit. Shake it up, bro. Oh yeah, you gotta like get a bit of.
Mm-hmm.
I use it I just use hydration every day, and there wasn't
Every day.
every day. But I have like a kidney thing.
Oh, okay.
I only have one kidney. Yeah, so I have to be like super high. I have to drink so much water in a day. And
Do
then,
we need to find out what blood type you are just in case? Like,
nah, I'm good. I don't think there's enough. I think you need to go a bit harder.
damn.
You like it?
Okay.
It's good, eh?
Okay.
Chuck a little bit more. Give yourself a little bit more of that flavor flow.
It does need more, but damn, it's pretty freaking good, dude.
Appreciate it.
Damn.
Thanks, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, so I used. I mean,
Dude, that's fire.
thanks, bro. I'll get you some. You sorted. Track talkers need electrolyte sponsor.
I'm gonna need these.
I love that. Yeah, so like I have it all the time, and I tried so many of them, and I found one that I like, but it had like a lot of B12 in it, and just like bullshit.
Why don't
that
we
you
like B12?
You just don't need, and like
We don't need a shit ton of B12.
you just don't need as much of it as people put in. But I think so. There's companies that put a lot of B12 in their product. Because you know when you have B12, it makes you feel a little tingly.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so people
Yes.
put it in the product to make it feel like it's
Something's
doing
happening.
something.
Yes.
Whereas this is literally 3 ingredients: magnesium, calcium, potassium. It's just that's it. And then there's like a little bit of natural sweetener. Dude, I got samples here today. I've got to try. We're like even taking the coloring out of it. So like I'm just trying to make a thing that is just what you need. And look, when I go to the track and I ride, I'll have a monster. All right, I'll get myself a monster. I'm having a little. I want that. I want to feel it. But then you have a monster.
Bro, this is fire.
Sick. I appreciate it.
I'm about to slam this.
It's good. Eh?
I'm gonna have to take a piss. Do we take?
We can take piss breaks.
Okay, cool.
And yeah,
I'm gonna be hydrated as fuck after this, bro.
I'm glad you like it. It's good, eh? Like,
And we got the gypsy juice.
yeah,
I mean, we got it. And too, you know what I like about it? That's got to be like some kind of like lemon something, lemon lime-ish.
pineapple, passion fruit.
Oh, okay. That's where, okay. Fire.
Sick. I'm glad you like it.
It's tasting like too, you know what I liked about it the most? It tasted like something that was real.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it has like I like a little bit of tartness in there. I like the tartness that you have. It's not too much, but it's enough. Like it tastes like you're actually eating like a piece of fruit or
Yeah, I don't
you know
like
what I mean?
the artificial, very artificial.
There's
taste.
no artificial in there, my boy. What's
Love
up?
that. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, so anyway, I use it every day. I like it. And then when the opportunity came up to work, like, so it's 2 Aussie boys that I'm working with.
Mhm.
And so it was a sponsor at first, but I like developed my own flavor. So from like day one, they were a
Yeah.
sponsor. I was with them from day one.
Mm-hmm.
They were a sponsor, but then after like 12 months, they're like, do you want to come and actually be a part of it? And I was like, I would fucking love to because yes.
Yeah, it just tastes like it tastes good, it tastes natural, and it tastes like you cut all the fat. That was
Because that's the biggest thing. I just don't want any of that. And like the biggest time that I'll have that is jiu-jitsu because you sweat when you wear pajamas and fight people in pajamas. You sweat a lot.
Yep.
And you know when else you sweat a lot?
when
When you're fucking covered from head to toe in moto gear in the California sunshine. I'm like a fucking wrinkled. I get off the big day at Parla.
looking like a raisin after the moto.
Looking like fucking Gollum, bro. Like, I need that shit. So, anyway, I'm glad you like it. I'll get you a bunch.
Please,
We got
seriously.
3 other flavors. So,
I'm not gonna make it past this flavor for a while.
that's
but
that's
yeah.
all I drink too. I got so much of the other shit. But yeah, I'm glad you like it. What were we looking up? The event that paved the way for constructed stadium-based motocross events was a 1972 race. Fuck, I think I said 72.
I think you did. You did.
Rewind the tape.
You said 72.
I
I know
might
you
be
did.
a fucking legend.
Yep, you're a legend.
I might not be.
Legendary. Legendary.
1972 race held in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum,
Yep, I
promoted
knew it
by
was there.
Mike Goodwin and Terry Turan, then president.
Marty
of-
Tripes, bro.
yeah. 16, bro.
Epic.
They should make a movie about that. Have you ever heard any of like the crazy conspiracy shit about? What do you know? Did we talk about this last time?
We did not talk about this.
Do you know any of it?
Let's put it this way. I don't know if anything's true. So I'm not going to speak on it, but I've heard so many rumors from both sides of the
What
table.
have you heard?
Oh, don't even. I'm not.
This
No.
is all fake. None of this is true. What did you hear? Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm going to have to watch that.
I kind of want to know.
It's pretty good. It goes through the whole history and like brings up like the major riders, but talks about how like there's like
Because someone got clipped.
So one of the guys that ran this
Yeah.
put out a hit on someone else and like.
Oh, yes. I've heard about
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
I've heard about that.
So tell me what you know.
That's what I know. I know somebody put a hit on somebody.
In the Pedro movie, it's about a 40-minute segment that talks about this event and like the originators that started Supercross.
Yeah, so there's, I don't know, can you just Google like which one of
Dude,
them
but
died?
wasn't there like something that happened where actually somebody got caught for it? Or is this just still a rumor?
One of them's in prison.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I think somebody got caught for it because it's legit.
Fuck. I need to do a massive...
That's what I thought.
All right, the history of Supercross and the murderous man behind
No
it.
way right
Let's-
now. Look at that title.
Let's go. So go to...
That's the kind of title I'm trying to have on my YouTube channel, dog.
We talked, yeah, that's what this, we've just got the thumbnail and the title, boys. Murders of Supercross. All right, let's go. We talked about the Mickey Thompson murder. Yeah, so they killed Mickey Thompson. And he was the guy that did the first one. So, okay. You might remember a little story we did a long time ago about the brutal murder of Mickey and Trudy Thompson.
Bro,
Damn, they got them both, bro.
Bro, I love how you snap right into your monologue voice.
I love it. Eh?
I like just snap, just so pro.
This is
It's
my
not-
reading voice.
It is.
This is what I sound
This
like.
is what I hear when I read at night. I just snap. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how Gypsy would say it.
If you do, then you'll know that these terrifying events were orchestrated by another industry giant in the world of automotive racing, Mike Goodwin.
Goodwin.
This man was the father of modern Supercross and now serves behind bars for the horrible atrocities his former business partner committed. Unfortunately, many people don't understand the man's entire life, as he is typically only known for the murders and his motorcycle-focused automotive fun. However,
It's wild that they put fun at the end of that.
Yeah.
The murders and his motorcycle focused automotive fun. Like murders are fun and automotive.
so it turns
Wild.
out that when you murder someone, it kind of becomes like a big part of your personal history. Like, we should keep that top of mind, yeah?
No shit.
Fuck.
All right.
Go up. Let me just finish that last line. Sorry, go up. However, there was a lot more history behind the career and life of Mike Goodwin in regards to what he built. All right, scroll down.
Oh, there's our boy Mike Goodwin right there, right?
Fuck. How have I never really gone deep in this? Initially, Goodwin focused primarily on rock shows with some sports marketing sprinkled in here and there. However, at his core, Goodwin was a promoter, and he saw the perfect opportunity to make some big money in the world of motorcycle sports. His first Supercross event was in 1972 at the Los Angeles Coliseum. While the owner was hesitant about the idea, Goodwin was incredibly persistent. Eventually, he agreed to rent the stadium to Mike for what he called the Super Bowl of motocross.
I knew it was the Super Bowl.
The event was a screaming success, and within a short while, the name Mike Goodwin was known in every household in America. Highly praised stadiums ranging from the Rose Bowl to San Diego were quickly filled with tons of dirt and crafted into the perfect tracks for motorcycle stunt performers. That's wrong. That's where we get fucked. Stunt performers. The sentence,
What I've been telling you.
The sentence should read, I know this from the JDR days, by the way. So I'll tell you, I'll get to that in a sec.
Okay. JDR.
Yeah.
You didn't say JGR. I was
No,
like,
JDR.
JDR. Just
Yeah.
flashback.
So with tons of dirt and crafted into the perfect tracks for motorcycle races. The best athletes on planet fucking Earth is what that sentence should have finished with.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I was going to say it was written by ChatGPT, but they spelled San Diego wrong, so it definitely wasn't.
That's so funny. Go. All right. So maybe we'll put a link to this if anyone wants to read it in after. But yeah, crazy, dude. That should be a movie. It should be a movie.
$800,000 lawsuit won by Mickey Thompson. So there's your motive right there.
Goodwin would later hire two men to murder Mickey and his wife in the driveway brutally. Eventually, Goodwin was caught due to an unexpected witness and given a life sentence nearly a decade later. I wonder if he's still alive.
He is. He's still marked. So in the movie they talk about
He's still alive.
Is this the pod of the century?
You read my mind,
Is this
bro.
the pod of the century?
They do a phone call interview with them to ask him about this stuff.
No way.
Dude, how do you get the pod set up in jail, bro?
Well, it was on phone, so they called him and asked him.
Dude, they got to get some
Let's go
kind
to
of
San
visit.
Quentin, son. I want to go.
But also, so they did the race, but also big marketing thing was they did like the longest jump on dirt bike. They had stunts, so it was like the race
Dude.
was important,
But the
it's
stunt,
also
yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't care about none of that. It didn't have anything to do with either of that. It had to do with the zeros, bro.
Yeah.
Homie took the zeros from the other dude's pocket.
Yeah. It's,
What do you, I don't know. It's a tale as old as time.
yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
One dude took the other dude's idea, which that idea was worth a lot of zeros. And then somebody did something they shouldn't have.
Fucked up my cheese, bro. You fuck up the cheese.
You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. The rats come. Dude, that's crazy. What a crazy history. It needs to be a movie.
No, you know what's crazy? Is that I've heard that and it's real. That's the crazy part.
And that's how, like, our whole sport was built off that. And then you just get a little 16-year-old kid that comes out and wins the thing.
And behind the scenes, people are getting hits.
Bro, what a crazy deal, eh? But so it's
Oh,
you were saying before about
dude, I need the soda fuel because I'm laughing so much.
I'm glad you
like,
I'm really
I'm
glad
sweating.
you like it. Because people they're probably sick of it by now. Like hearing me talk about it. It is what it is.
I mean, dude, how are you? If you don't promote it a 6 zillion times,
I know. It's fucking brutal. I was talking about this with Danny because he's got Enchante, like his clothing. And I'm like, at what point, like, is it too much? But then you don't do it and it's not enough.
You know
but
what the
it's-
problem? You know what the? I cut you off a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
yeah, you
ahead.
do it. I do it to other people too.
You know what the problem is? Is that if it reaches one more person, even if you post 6 times a day, then that's one more person.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
And the thing is, so we've grown every month too, which
Yeah.
is cool. We're not killing it by any stretch, but you can just see that when you do it, it definitely helps. You know, I'm actually, for the people listening, we're giving away a bike. I did a Honda 450 bike build, so we're like, if you buy any sort of fuel,
Let's go.
yeah. So I'm trying to I want to make it a thing. You know, like it's
I think you know the right people.
yeah,
I just think that you got to get it into the right hands.
yeah. It's just time. It takes time
With
anything.
amen, brother.
Yeah, with anything.
What? It takes so much longer than people think. You know what the funniest thing about shit is, dude? Like, I'm over here with the podcast, and I'm like, hurry up, please. Like, I need this video to blow up. I need to get bigger. I need to do this now. Why are we not more successful? All that stuff, right? But obviously, every week we're getting bigger.
Pull up the YouTube. Pull up the
And
Trash
then-
Talkers YouTube.
And then, you know what I just looked at the other day?
What?
Do you know how long weed has been doing it?
Oh yeah.
And you look at like all these people, like rappers and people that are successful and all that stuff, right? You're like, oh, he's an overnight success.
Doesn't
No, bro.
happen. Yeah.
It's not actually. It's just 20 years of shit you didn't see.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you've seen it.
The 20-year overnight success, bro. It's a real thing. Go back to their main, just the channel. Dude, I think you guys, and I told you this last time that I was here.
Yep.
I think you guys are onto an awesome thing. I think you guys do a great job. I loved when I did the show with yous.
It was one of my favorite shows.
It was extremely fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
We just try to have, like, scroll down to some of these shorts down here. We just have a good time.
dude, 31K.
Yep, we're getting there. You just gotta, like, it's all hit and miss. You know what I mean? We
You
got a
just gotta-
couple shows at like 20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somewhere around there, but it's hit and miss.
Yeah. I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I enjoy it. I
Appreciate
think
it.
you guys do a really good job.
I think what we're trying to do is just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, like as much as we possibly can. And I think that's what's missing in our sport. I feel like you have such a good corner of like being serious and
Complaining.
not complaining, but like being serious, getting the stories out there. You're so good at getting the stories out there. The one-on-ones are unbelievable, and presenting the sport in your way, right? And then we have all these other people, but we don't have just a quirky, outgoing, funny ass show where we can laugh about shit going on.
And you and your brother have such a good dynamic. It would be very hard. Like JB and AC do an awesome job.
Yeah.
They can't have the dynamic that you and your brother can have,
Yeah.
and the conversations and the way that you guys can like talk at each other, disagree, yell at it's a very unique thing that you guys have. And that's why I said last time, I'm like, you guys are the Kelsey brothers of Supercross. You know, like that's the vibe that you guys can bring to the table.
Yeah.
And it's you're not going to be able to replicate that, you know? And I always try and tell people from where I'm at and my experience, like this show is exactly what it is because of who I am. Like I am this personality, and I'd have this conversation with you if there was no mics and 100%. No cameras, you know? And so it's like, this show can't be any other way. Sometimes I wish it was another way. Sometimes I wish I wasn't so fucking retarded. But it's like...
Yeah, but that's the thing, though.
But it's
if
what
you're
makes
not being stupid, then you're not laying it all on the line and being real. Because sometimes we say some stupid shit because that's the first thing that comes to our mind and we're going off of emotion. And if you have too long to think about it, you're not going to watch it. Because then it's all professional and it's all cookie cutter, and people are so numb to that in 2026. It is the last thing that people want. I mean, dude, there is shows that me and Tyler go so hard on each other that we don't talk for a couple seconds.
It's unreal.
You know what I mean? And there's nobody I'm going to do that with.
I was going to say, you can't replicate that. And I think you guys just keep leaning in to what you guys are doing. And I think that it's just going to get better and better and better and better. It's a fucking no-brainer. Like, I mean, you've got great access. You've both raced at the highest level. Yeah. Like there's so many intangibles that you guys have. And I think it's more like the exact product that you guys do right now can be 10x views. Yeah. Without changing you, him, the dynamic, the product, nothing. It's literally just going to be data, titles, thumbnails, posting, like cadence.
Well, that's the hard thing.
And that's like, you just have to learn that for what works for you and for him, you know? But the other thing as well, so it's like it takes time to blow up, right?
Yes.
So I'm very into like the world of content and this, and like I'm a real student of the game. Yep. But I also was this before the podcast. Yeah. Because I was doing million view fucking heli shoot videos and big Red Bull projects. And like, so I've always, my whole adult life has been around content and this world in very different formats, right? And look at like Clavicular. Like, you know that dude? Have you seen the internet? So there's this kid Clavicular, the whole like looks maxing thing. So I'm on YouTube Shorts, and I just start seeing this fucking Clavicular guy, and people start talking about, and I'm like, where the fuck did this guy come from? I went from never seeing anything to in 1 week seeing it,
all of it,
and I'm like, this is crazy. So then the content brain of mine is like, I need to dissect this and figure this out. Yep. He just blew up. The Kick had given him basically $1 million a month budget for clippers to clip his live streams. $1 million a month on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, or 16,000 pieces of content were posted last month of this guy, right? So this dude did come out of nowhere, blew the fuck up because one company with fucking hundreds of millions of dollars just put this all behind. And I think that it creates such a weird, I don't even know the word. It creates such a weird feeling to guys like you and me that are like, dude, what are we doing? We're not even close to this, or we're not getting these. But
I just got a guy to start clipping the content. That just happened the start of this year.
Yeah. So this clavicular guy explodes. Biggest thing on the internet. ODs on a stream. Lost all of his, like, then he is getting sued by this chick because he was like injecting her fucking face on a live stream. Like, so it's like it's just Icarus, bro. Like, you just fly too close to the sun. So the people like Weege that have been around 20 years and have been doing it the right way, the slow grind, people like myself, people like yourself.
Yep.
You can't have one without the other, you know? Like, you just,
without a
you
doubt.
just can't have that
It's
massive
just
blow up without giving away such a large part of your soul in the process. And there's things I know I could have done a long time ago to be way further ahead.
Yep.
From a money perspective and from a
Without a doubt.
But it's like, I didn't want to give away a piece of my soul. I wanted to still be me.
Amen.
And I wanted to.
Amen.
And so you have to take the slow, sustainable. Like, I still want to be doing this in 10 years.
Yes.
You know, I'll be in my
10. What about 20 or 30, my boy?
I'll be on a fucking cattle ranch, son.
You're still going to be doing it.
I'm
You're going
gonna-
to be on a cattle ranch like Kanye, and you're going to be like, hey, yo, Jett, we got to rehash this one season and da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bro, I hope I can pay someone to scrub the internet of my presence and be a fucking cattle farmer, bro. I want to go so far the other way.
Dude, that's what you think.
Nah, no, that's what I think.
That's what you think now, and then you're going to be like, this is me. You know, that's what I think that's what I realized in my career. And for all the kids listening, and like even kids that are racing Supercross right now, it's really hard to, when you're in the moment, to understand how much you actually love riding your dirt bike. Because we've done it since we were a kid. And I would say around that 8 to 10 range, you realize that, oh shit, I'm about to do this pro. And at
Was
that
it like
point,
that for you?
yeah. Like, I'd say 8 to 10, I was like, I'm racing Supercross. Whether anybody else thought it was possible or not, because nobody else thought it was possible for me. But either way, around that 8 to 10 range, you're making the decision internally, and your parents are risking it to have you do it, right? So you kind of lose sight of, am I doing this because I want to do this, and this is who I am, or am I doing this because this is kind of what I know, and I'm just going to do this because this is what I'm good at, you know, and we're just going to keep going and going and going and put our heads down, you know, and you get into Supercross, and you're kind of like, you work so hard that you're like, damn, this is a job, and you forget.
Facts.
You know, you forget how much you actually like it and how much you are. But once you get done, you're going to realize that, holy shit, I really like dirt bikes. You went your whole life doing this thing, and you have to do it. You know you have to do it. You know you have to work out. You know you have to freaking be on your perfect, like every single day you have to be perfect, right? Because you know you're going to crash or break your femur or maybe worse, right? So you're just constantly stressed 24/7. Every guy on that line is scared for their life and stressed.
Bro, that was the craziest thing with the Jerry pod. Did you listen to that yet?
Yeah, I've listened to parts of it.
Did you hear the bit where he's like, dude, I'm so much less stressed now? And I'm like, that fucking hit me in the feels, bro. Because I was like, yeah, I bet. The amount of times I just want to fucking quit and just go and just be a kid's jiu-jitsu instructor and make fucking $800 a week
Yeah.
is just unfathomable. Because of that, I'm like, bro, the stress that he would have been under in his career to just keep the train on the tracks, and then he has this completely fucked up, life-altering thing happen to him. But on the other side of it, he's like, dude, I'm way less stressed.
Yes.
Like, I just can enjoy my life in such a different capacity than I ever could. And it's like, when him and his wife have kids, bro, he's going to be like so available
Yeah.
and so there for his children. All of these things are going to there's like this downstream effect of just this incredibly stress-free life in a different, weird
Yeah.
way because it's like just removed all of these layers of complication. And hearing that was so sobering because I'm like, yes, like you're right. This is what you guys do is incredibly stressful on your nervous system 24 hours a day.
It's crazy because you don't even realize it.
Until you stop.
Yes. You are stressed to hear every single day of your life all the time. You are worrying about like, oh, is my bike going to fucking blow up? Am I going to case this triple? Am I going to, because like, okay, say you're the best in the world.
Still happens.
Still OJ a triple.
Jett.
Still case a jump. Jett, best guy in the world. Still not immune to it.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that your stress level is so high.
Yeah.
Like, put it into perspective this way, okay? Anything that normal people think is scary, I don't even care about. Like, dude, I will walk up to the CEO of Amazon and be like, yo, what up, bro? What's going on? Can I have a $500,000? Like,
yeah.
After I've done a triple, what is that? It's like you are so stressed and you're at such this high level of scared all the time.
Yeah, fight or flight.
Yes.
Constantly.
And you don't even realize it because like when I was doing it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do the triple. Of course. It's not even a question. And you're so here all the time that once you're done, you're like, oh fuck. You're like, oh shit, I don't have to do that today.
I think that there's a version of that though that a lot of normal people feel.
Yes, they do.
For sure. You're feeling it in a very extreme, visceral way. But I mean, I feel it.
No.
In my life.
Everybody does.
Yeah, it's you guys are feeling it in the most extreme way, and it would warp your perception of
We're warped.
exactly what you said. And when I met my wife, because she had no fucking clue what dirt bikes, all of that, I broke my hip right as we got together. And I like lost feeling in my legs because I had like it. I had so much fluid, that it was like compressing on my spinal cord, and I'm like having phone calls with her. She's in China. I'm in a fucking MRI machine. Can't feel my legs. And,
you're like,
then,
oh, no big deal.
And she's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is so retarded. Stop immediately. So, yes, we have as a group, motocross riders, we're fucking gnarly. And you guys feel it on the most extreme sense, but there is also that every day. And I feel like knowing that and being aware of that, like, hey, if you're a fucking man out there that is listening to this right now and you're being a good husband and a good father and a good friend to your boys that are going through something, and if you're paying your taxes and if you're raising kids right and you're pushing back against school teachers and you know, like, you're fucking stressed and it's hard
without a doubt.
And I see you, bro. Like, I see you and I feel you, and it ain't easy. And I don't think that we get the respect that we deserve sometimes as men that are out there doing the right thing. And fighting that good fight, because, dude, it's so real. And I remember being a kid and almost having like trauma around how stressed my dad was and
without a doubt,
and how difficult it must have been for my dad to do what he did, you know, like, and dude, whenever I get in trouble, I just fucking try and make more money. You know, I just I'm like, how can I make more? What can I do to make more money? Bro, my dad didn't have that option.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't have that option. And it's like, now the level of respect that I have for what my dad went through to raise 3 kids, to drive 20 hours to every fucking motocross race that we did because we lived in the middle of nowhere. Like, man, that is gnarly, dude. And just everybody is going through it, you know? And it's one of those things that it makes me think twice about people having bad days or like dealing with people that are, because everyone's going through it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you want to talk about going through it. I've been through the shit, through the roller coaster, you know, like, And I have so much respect, or I shouldn't say that. I should say I have so much more respect than I ever thought I would for people that have like serious anxiety and panic attacks. Because, dude, when I was growing up, I didn't even know what anxiety was.
Yeah.
Like through my whole career, whole thing. Supercross was like, dude, anxiety, you're a pussy, right?
I thought the same thing, to be completely honest.
Yes. Then it all changed. I had that crash in Orlando, broke my collarbone, and I like severed my vagal nerve or whatever, right? And this is what happened. This is why my whole career ended. I'm not sure if we talked about this
I don't
before.
think we did.
So when that happened, I damaged my vagal nerve in my neck. And that summer, I probably had 15, 16 panic attacks that summer. And they could not figure out what was wrong with me. I mean, I couldn't even
Really?
leave the house. It was that bad. Like I was just stuck in the house, panic attack after panic attack after panic attack, in and out of the hospital all the time. And anxiety and panic attacks are like crippling.
Yeah.
I am talking like you are cooked. Good luck doing anything. And after that summer, I had so much more respect for people that are like, dude, I have panic attacks. I have a lot of anxiety. Like, it completely changed my perspective because you literally can't even function.
No.
You can't function. I went through a whole summer, or it was really longer than that, of not even functioning at all, right? And so get into Supercross, and that was my last year of Supercross. I'm trying to make it all happen. And I kind of told myself, hey, once I'm not getting better, that's it for me. And that year, I didn't get any better, and I kind of felt it, and then the next year I retired. But, you know, long story short, I'm finally, like, getting better. Don't even, you know what I mean? I don't have to take any medicine, no nerve blocks, no nothing like that, and I'm all good now. But it's like, I could not believe what that type of anxiety and that level of stress could do to your body. I had no idea. No idea.
So, when you say severed that nerve,
No, I damaged
it.
But you know what the biggest problem is with the whole thing?
What?
Which not a lot of people, I mean, people that don't have to deal with this, they don't know shit about your nervous system. They can't fix it.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do.
Yeah.
They can test and see like how from symptoms of like what's going on to know that there is something nervous system wrong because your vagal nerve controls so many different internal things of your body and how they act. They can kind of tell that it's jacked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's nothing they can do. It's not like it's a bone where you can go do surgery and you just have to wait it out and hopefully your nervous system heals itself. And there's obviously, you know, things that we did and resting and things like that that were helping and nerve block, you know, medication and things like that. But that's all you can do. There's nothing. They're like, oh yeah, if you're like this for the rest of your life. You're cooked.
So you break your collarbone, you damage this nerve.
Yep.
And so how did what do you remember your first panic attack? Or do you remember when you started to get anxiety?
It was like right after that crash. I came home from the hospital and it was like 2 days later. 2 days later, instantly.
Really? First time you've ever had any of it?
Even close. Not even like a little. You know what I mean? Like never even a little bit.
And so what else was happening in your life around that? Was it, have you had kids yet?
Didn't have a kid yet.
Okay.
Didn't have a kid yet.
But life was good otherwise?
Chill.
Fuck.
Supercross. Doing the thing.
And it just hit you.
And it was like.
Every day. And so would you have,
not every day, but pretty damn close.
My experience with panic attacks, I feel like the first, apart from fucking weed-induced panic attacks.
Totally.
That's a thing.
Yep.
It's kind of fun though. When you know. When you know that's why.
Yeah. Like when you know. When you're chilling, yeah.
Yeah, when you know that's why you're having a panic attack.
You're like, oh, here it comes. Here we go.
This is like a fucking gym for my brain, son. Who's going to carry the boats? Oh, fuck. I reckon the first time, I was only just telling someone this the other day. I think the first time I would literally tell people panic attacks aren't real. Anxiety isn't real.
100%.
It's all in your head.
100%.
Which it kind of is in a sense, but it's not.
It is.
But I remember I was with my business partner and we were in LA. We were driving. I think he was driving and we were just going to this like camera shop to do some like camera repairs.
Yep.
And I just like, it was the first time in my life I'd ever noticed that my breathing was just like,
Yeah, like weird.
and I was like, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to calm my breathing down.
Yeah.
And it was just not possible.
Yeah.
And so I started noticing this breathing and I was like tight. I was like tensed.
Yeah.
And it was the first time where it ever like really clicked in my mind. I was like, this might be anxiety. And then I just started thinking.
Yeah, like you were like, oh shit.
I said, this is what it is. This. I've always said that this isn't real, but I've always felt like this.
Yeah.
And I think that the environment that we grew up in was very fight or flight the whole time. It was just very, when I look back, it was pretty fucked. The shit that we kind of went through just in the neighborhood of where we grew up, you know? Like,
yeah. Like totally normal day, whatever, but
houses
totally not normal.
Bro, like houses getting lit on fire, kids coming to the fucking skate park with samurai swords. Like, just, it was weird.
Yes, yeah.
It shouldn't have been happening.
Yeah.
Fucking 14-year-olds overdosing on drugs. People fucking driving cars through houses on acid at 14. Like, there was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I was quite anxious. And I never really
didn't even notice.
Didn't know that that's what this thing was called.
Yep.
But I remember the first real life panic attack that I had. I had she's an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I remember being in bed and just fully knowing that I didn't love this girl anymore.
Yep.
But we had a house. We'd been together 5 years.
That'll give you a panic attack.
She was beautiful.
Yep.
She was funny.
But just not it.
Everyone liked her. She was great. Didn't love her anymore. At one point I did.
Yeah.
And I'm laying in bed next to this beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Having a fucking meltdown, bro. And it felt like you were sitting on my chest and you just wouldn't get up. That was the first legit panic attack that I've ever had.
Yeah.
And then I just went through a stage of just like having them until I ended up breaking up with this chick. Because it was just, it was fucking crazy. And after that, I was like, oh, this is fully a real thing.
It is. It's real.
How long did yours last?
Mine were like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But like mine, this sounds so fucked up. But like I got so used to it that I just kind of didn't give a fuck.
Well, I think that's kind of the only way to deal with it.
Well, like, because I didn't have any trouble breathing or anything. And like
so how
pretty
was
much
it for you?
I would just get like tingly fingers and then I would be like really heavy and then I would just pass out.
Really?
Bah, gone. And that's why, because like normal panic attacks aren't really normally like that.
Yeah.
That's what would happen to me. Just gone. Pass out. See ya.
Wow.
Yep. And then come back about like 2 seconds later.
And then that obviously affects the way that you live. You're like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to be at a fucking Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, I literally like, I can't drive a car right now. I can't ride a dirt bike. Like, I'm not doing shit until I get this figured out.
And what helped?
The nerve block.
Okay.
I was taking nerve blockers where it was just like, and then it was like totally fine, which is weird.
Yeah. And do you think that it's healed itself now? This was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, I think it has. It's to me, it's just really weird how like I don't have any panic attacks at all anymore. You know, like because it's like I feel like people that have anxiety kind of continue to have it throughout their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that somebody just has heightened anxiety through their life.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's hard because nobody really knows an answer. And I kind of never had anything. Then all of a sudden they're like had everything and then like didn't have it, don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, I get nervous, but I feel like anxiety and nerves are different.
It's your framing.
Yes.
Of the situation. And so when you can have two guys on a start line of a race. Let's say they're twin brothers.
Yep.
And one of them is incredibly cripplingly anxious and the other is extremely excited.
Yes.
And if you got them to fill out
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, if you got them to fill out a questionnaire
Yeah.
of what they were physically feeling. So let's completely keep the mental framing of the feelings out of the situation. Elevated heart rate, elevated breathing, tingly feeling, butterflies in the stomach.
Yep.
All of the physical
Same.
systems would persist, right?
Yep.
So I think about this as well, and this is one of the things I think that helped me get past those feelings and situations, right?
Yeah.
So same twin brothers, identical twins down to the fucking molecule.
Yep.
They go into a gym, it's leg day.
Yep.
One of them is a fucking gym nut freak that is like, let's go, brother. I am going to shut up and squat. It's still your motherfucking set. All right?
Yep.
And he's going to rip his legs to pieces. He's going, I hope I can't fucking walk out of this gym. You are going to need a stretcher to carry me out this bitch.
Mentality.
Digging shit.
Yep.
All right?
Digging shit.
And then you get the other brother, again, down to the molecule, identical. And he goes into the gym and he's like, dude, I was going to ride tomorrow. I got to sit in the office all day. I don't want to go heavy because of my this is going to hurt. I don't want this pain. I don't want DOMs. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Identical physical feelings with a completely different mental framing around those feelings give you two completely different outcomes in life.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the same thing as that race start analogy. So I think that framing has so much to do with your experience and reframing situations. If you can have the awareness of your feelings and thoughts and emotions in the moment and kind of step back more third person.
Yeah.
And you can analyze the framing. And if you can actively reframe, then you can go a really long way to mitigating the negative feelings that you can get in those situations.
Yeah. I think that it's a very, very solid way for sure to do it. But like you and I both know, with being nervous, that's the hardest thing to do in that moment.
Yeah.
Right? Is like try to reframe something when you already know this is the way that you think as a person and this is the way it's going. And I feel like when you're nervous, your mind is like,
yeah.
Right? Like just, that's what you're supposed to do.
And I think it's practice.
Yes.
It's got to be.
It's practice.
Yeah. You've just got to practice putting yourself in that situation and then overriding that with framing, you know? It's one of the most, to bring it back to Supercross, I think that's one of the most impressive things about this season.
Yeah.
Every podium interview from Ken, the framing has just been impeccable. Every podium interview from Hunter,
yeah,
the framing has been impeccable. Both of these guys, in my opinion, are the two best performers on the podium and with the media out of the entire field, and they're the guys that are leading.
Yeah.
Like at no point has Kenny had a meltdown, has Hunter had a meltdown.
No.
The framing has just been unreal. Even Kenny with Denver, you know, got second, stoked on a second, winner take all, stoked to be in this position. Hunter bleeds points for 4 rounds. Goes from practically having the championship in his pocket to bleeding points. Frames it fine. If you told me at round 1 I was within 4 points of the championship with 3 rounds to go, I'm taking that every single day. That framing that these two guys have been able to bring to every single, and I'm sure they believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and they genuinely feel the way that they do. And
that is the biggest thing right there.
Yeah.
And I think that is what helped me in my racing career, is I had to figure out when I was on the gate, what do I believe?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do I believe? Because if I was trying to tell myself something that I didn't believe, it's almost instant bullshit, right? You're like instantly fucked, right? And so I got to a point, and just like Ken Roczen and Hunter are doing right now, they're analyzing and telling themselves things in the way that they believe.
Yeah.
I went, okay, you're on the line. What do nerves do? They always bad. That's instant. Well, for every bad thing that can happen, what are the good things that can happen out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What are the good things? Okay. I could get 8th place. I could get the fucking whole shot. I could go to the inside right here. And you just analyze and to the point where, okay, this makes sense. And I 100% believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that race, you know what Kenny did in his mind? He knew he might have not put himself in the perfect situation and had more points, but he came across that finish line and he went, yeah, bro, guess what? I still have the lead. I have 1 point, and now the pressure is going to be on him to make this, and I still have the lead going into this next round. Or whatever he said. But he framed it right when he got off the finish line with that fist pump. Instead of dropping his head,
Yeah.
he went like this.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's saying something in your mind that you can truly believe and framing it the way you need to frame it to fucking get it done.
Yeah. And it's all based in reality.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
It has to be your reality.
Yeah.
If it's not your reality, it ain't going to work.
But there's also a time where your reality can just be complete bullshit. You know, and you could just
Is it?
But I mean, there could be there is a circumstance where you're just gassing yourself to the point where it's like negative comments, right? Like you can take the approach that never met a hater doing better than me, bro.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit. Like
Yeah.
that's not real because there's a person, and I say it all the time, that could be living in their fucking grandparents' basement, jerking their dick to Reddit every single day.
99% of the time.
And he's right. You fucking talk too much. You didn't do
Yeah,
this. But so it's like you have to be able to be fully open to interface with reality. And it's like that's what those boys are doing. Like the reality of the situation is it's winner take all.
Yep.
And Ken Roczen is fully capable of winning. And Hunter Lawrence is fully capable of winning. And so this whole time, the self-talk has been immaculate. They haven't, like I would, and I hate to feel like I'm even talking bad about Christian Craig, but there would be times when I would see him on the podium and I would see him after races or in his vlogs, and he's basically like over the top disappointed and over the top sad because he's like trying to convince the people that he cares about
Yeah.
that he cares and he's disappointed and it's not acceptable. You sort of see a bit of this with Cole too,
Yeah.
where Cole wants to come across like seconds not acceptable, that
Yeah.
he just puts on this like, ugh,
Yep.
you know, and it's just like,
But it's weird, and tell me your experience too. It's also that has to do with controlling yourself because that is real. That is real. Like Cole, I think Cole is seriously disappointed. I think Christian Craig is seriously disappointed. But you have to have the balance because the more you live, the more you understand how your reaction and the way you feel affects what you're doing, you realize that is not good for what you need to do.
and that's what I was about to say, is that as long as it's not a net negative, you know, and I think it's like you can be so performative, and I've done it. I know because I've done it in the past.
Without a doubt, we all have.
You're so like performative.
We learn it from a kid.
Yeah, you want to let people know this isn't acceptable. I'm better than this. This won't happen. You want to let that know, but it can get to the point where it's like a net negative. It's not actually going to help the situation.
Yeah.
And maybe if you've got people in your corner that need that reaction from you,
Yes.
then you probably need to have a real conversation with those people as well.
Without a doubt.
You
And
know?
there is people that need that reaction from you that want to know that you care that much or whatever that is because they're spending that money, but they also have to be on your team and understand that you're doing everything that you can. And I think that is the hardest situation, right? Or the hardest thing to do in life is surround people around yourself that understand that you're willing to do anything it takes to get this done.
Yeah, and you should know that without having to crack the shits.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's hard because unless you really know that person, it's hard.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest.
Akrapovich, I will say this. Best built muffler for the money.
I've never owned one in my life. They f those things.
Dude, $1,600, dude.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, you will. You'll do it.
Damn you, Chris Kiefer. They've got one. This part fits your ride. 1,300 with shipping. All right, let's go. So now we hurry up and wait. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, already.
That's unbelievable. That happened so fast. Because this order was over $79, it qualified for free shipping. And Kiefer was right. This might be the most well-built exhaust I've ever seen. And we wasted no time fitting it to my YZ450. The way the exhaust mounts on Yamahas is unique, but really simple. And in about 20 minutes, we have transformed the look, the sound, and the engine characteristics of this 450. All that's left to do is hit the track. As usual, Kiefer was right. The Acro took the power of the Yami and put it in all the right places. It was smooth off the bottom, but still meaty, and I loved the new exhaust note. To transform your next ride, hit the link in the description and head to motorsport.com. And right now, if you head to motorsport.com/win, you can enter their ultimate ride sweepstakes and win a YZ450F of your own. We're back. I needed to piss like a goddamn racehorse.
I'm ready to get back
You
on the
get into
field,
it.
too.
How much do you ride these days?
I'd say like twice a month, more, and then like riding, once every couple months. I would say I ride with my son quite a bit though.
So what does that look like?
Riding on the back like a little CRF 150, like older ranch bike, and then he rides on his little gas e-bike. But I don't really is that riding?
I guess.
Not really.
I guess in the what? Going to Glen Helen.
No.
Doing some motos.
No. We roll over to Pops' ranch and we'll go throw a couple motos down. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Do you still enjoy riding?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
You just don't get to do it enough.
No, I'm super spoiled and I hate doing bike maintenance.
But just be like me, bro, and don't do bike maintenance.
Dude, I am so tweaked about bike maintenance though, because I know, and the funny thing is like,
Yeah, I guess you're better than me at riding. So it's like more.
yeah, but
on
I don't
bike.
ride like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I think I'm like riding at a pace where I need to redo my motor every 30 hours or 20 hours. And I do not need to do that. You know what I mean? Like I could go probably 60 or 70 on an engine and be totally fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I'm so in the mentality, like, cause I've blown a couple rods through the cases at like, 25, 30 hours off the face, of a jump. And I'm like, I'm so PTSD'd from that, that I'm like, I got to do hella maintenance on my bike. You know what I mean? It's
I've done not one, but 2 rides without a front axle nut.
I mean, dude, as long as you got the pinch bolts dialed, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm probably suffering from a bit of lack of flex, but I mean,
No, what lack of flex?
I'm just maybe they're a bit too tight.
More
like,
flex.
You think? Yeah. I guess with the no axle fucking bolt.
Because it's not crimping it down, right? Because essentially, I mean, let's get into the mechanics of this, right? You stick the axle through. All that crimp bolt is really doing,
stopping it from.
well, you're supposed to push it through, get it to the thing where it hits the little spacer, spin it, get it all aligned, tighten one side down, and then tighten that thing down and still make sure your wheel. And then you tighten those down, and essentially you could take that bolt off and it's not doing anything anymore. As long as you're crimped.
I appreciate that.
We're good. We're good, dog. What are you talking about?
So, yeah,
we're dialed.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't even need it. That's weight. Like, we don't need that.
I don't do filters. I don't do fucking nothing, bro.
No filters?
You haven't heard this?
No.
Bro, I haven't.
Don't you ride a Yami?
Yeah.
Isn't it like a like a little like paper and then you just like put it back in, or they changed it? Is it like a filter now?
It's a filter.
So it's like, it's not just like a little
No.
flat thing.
No, it's a filter. I haven't done a filter in years,
Bro,
bro.
what about like, gosh, what is it? It's not DT1. Is it DT1 filters? Yeah, it is. They just give you filters, right? No?
Yeah, but I mean,
No, nothing.
do you need to?
I mean,
I think I'm proof that maybe motorcycling isn't as crazy a maintenance fucking problem as what people think it is, you know?
okay, so Tyler and I were a little bit of pyros on the ranch. This is why I always change my filter. Okay? This is why, personally. So we made this like 6 foot long potato gun that we used to launch to the highway, like a quarter mile, right? So
PVC.
yes,
yeah,
PVC.
yeah.
Well, it was like a $200 one. So it was like, we're talking the hole on this thing was this big, right? And the container was like this. Ty and I made this at 12, right? The reason I always change my filter, fuel to air ratio is so important, my boy. If you do not have fuel to air ratio right, it does not work. 3 spins, cap, light to the highway every time. 4 spins, nope. 5
Really?
spins, nope. We'd take the barrel and we'd hold it. We had a lighter. We'd tape the barbecue lighter in there.
Yeah.
We'd spin it 2 squirts of starting fluid, 3 spins, put the cap on, boom, all the way to the highway, baby. Every time. If you did 4, if you did 2, it wouldn't work as good. Air to fuel ratio. If you have that thing clogged, you're not sucking enough air.
When was the last time you changed a filter in your car?
My wife's car, like probably a couple weeks ago.
But what about before that?
Dude, but the problem is the filters
Fucking
on those-
triggered.
No, trigger.
Triggered.
The filters on a car, if you lay them out, they got it dialed. I don't know why they're not doing this in moto. That filter is because it's like, you know how it's like those triangles? That filter's like almost, twice as long as this table when you lay it out. So it's got twice as much surface area. Our little filter is just flat.
Don't need to change
You know
it.
what you need?
Don't
I
need
know
to
what
change
you
it.
need. You don't even need to change it. Nope. This is what you need. I think Twin Air makes them. Filter skins.
Oh, the socks, yeah.
No, they're just like little filter
Yeah, no,
skins.
I know,
Put like
yeah.
7 on them. If you can run it with a year-old dirty filter, you can run it with 7. Just every 6 months, peel one off.
Just think it's a myth. I just think we've been lied to, bro.
I think that when you ride your bike,
So my point is
okay,
that you said, maintenance, and I'm telling you that maybe you don't need the maintenance as bad as you think.
I 100% don't.
Yeah.
I 100% don't. But in my mind,
Because I was that guy, but I had time.
yeah.
And now I don't have time.
Yeah, no, I don't do maintenance.
So now I'm just like,
But that's why I don't ride.
yeah, I need to go to the track. And I was like the opposite. I was so meticulous and I wanted everything to look good and I wanted my suspension to be done. And I've got like,
Well, that's half the fun of riding, my boy.
I know, but then once the time happened, okay, so what I've realized, and this is where I've got to, the fun of riding for me now is just riding. I've just deleted all the other shit that I used to say made riding
People
fun.
in the comments, please
But
tell us what your favorite part of riding is.
for me, just
This
riding.
is a wild statement.
I
Of course it is.
No, but you just said half of the fun of riding is like the bike and the this.
I
and-
did not say that. Rewind
did.
it.
You literally just did. You said
I want the recording of it.
I will.
I hate bike maintenance.
But I said I used to have everything nice and this and that, and then you said that's half the fun of
No,
riding.
half the fun of riding is looking pimp.
I know, but now I'm just done. I'm over it.
I did not say half the fun of riding is bike maintenance. No. Half the fun of riding is looking pimp.
Yeah.
When I go to the track, I want a brand new graphics kit, just like my race bike. New
That's why you get
gear, new
Alpine Stars.
boots. Oh, there you go. I got Alpenstar boots. Love Alpenstar boots.
What
Best
gear do
boots.
you wear?
Thor.
Thor, yeah. Alps boots are the fucking shit.
They're next to none.
I was at so when I was at F1, we were having lunch, and I'm sitting next to Gabrielle. He wasn't in on the conversation. Him and Jett were talking, but then he was the reserve driver for the Alpine team, and so
Yeah.
he was like, we were just bullshitting about the sport, And
Yeah.
then he's like, what's the best boots? And I'm like, Alpine Stars, like Tech 10s. And he's like, well, you've got to say that because you're sitting next to you. And I was like, brother,
People don't understand.
trust me. This is one of those times where if you can't in good faith give somebody the answer of what the best boots are without saying Alpine Stars.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I've tried all the boots.
Me too.
Okay. Alpenstar is so much above everybody else. It's kind of like
It is pretty crazy.
Silly how high up they are above like Alpenstar boots here, everybody else like down here.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Dude, and you know how I realized it?
How?
Supercross.
Huh.
I could ride longer days because of Alpenstar boots.
Really?
Yes. My ankles didn't hurt.
Yeah.
My knees didn't hurt. Like outdoors, you can run another type of boot if you had to. Supercross, it's so apparent that their boot is that much better. It's insane. Insane. You have an advantage if you're running Alpenstars.
That's crazy to actually hear that. Like I would think that from just a consumer point of view. And I wore other boots when I was younger racing.
Yeah.
And I just always came back to Tech 10s.
They're the best.
Yeah. It's actually insane the difference in just feeling, Like, I don't know. It's like a completely different. Yeah. It's cool to hear you say that from that perspective. Because I'm obviously like I'm not saying this from a experience of Supercross perspective, like I'm kind of coming at it from a different angle. But
Totally.
Yeah, to actually hear that is pretty
You could
insane.
actually ride longer days in Alpenstar boots.
Well, even when I do those really long dual sport rides, I still wear Tech 10s.
Yeah.
I just feel very safe. I feel very in
That's
control.
a good, I mean, too, and the protection around the front of the boot.
Yeah.
You don't feel like there's anything that's exposed or anything like that. You just feel protected.
Yeah. And I think now, especially with the way that we all try and ride on our toes these days as well, like just that level of, I don't know, I just feel very, very safe. Very, very solid.
Yep.
But it's actually cool to hear you say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kid was like, you got to say that. I'm like,
No, bro. You don't understand. It's not, it's like on a whole, like I said again, I'll say it again. It's on a whole different level. It really is. Longer days, longer motos, sleep better. You're not aching when you wake up. There was other boots where I had to almost get a new set of boots every week.
really?
Yep. Just back to back to back to back to back.
That's what Dungeon that would say about the Nike boots.
Every week.
They were just tear-offs. They look sick as fuck though, dude.
They were that bad?
Yeah. Apparently they didn't last for shit.
Well, not lasting and not being good are two different things.
No, I think they loved them.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it was like a Spec tire.
Yep, pretty much.
So really good, but as soon as it was cooked, it was cooked.
Dude, speaking of Spec tire, that new tire Tomac ran on the weekend, that looks good. That might be the one.
Dude.
Have you ever ridden on it?
No, I haven't ridden on it, but you bet your bottom dollar your boys are going to strap one of those things on and try it.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
It looks the perfect in the middle.
Yeah.
From, you know what I mean? Like scoop-esque, little bit more of a wider, but not wide. Not like it's the perfect ratio of everything.
Yeah.
Looks like the knob's a little taller, maybe a little bit more platform in some areas. So you're getting that in between of like the grab, but the contact patch, but not too close because it was supposed to replace the 53. And the 53 was, I hated that tire. I could not ride that tire anywhere.
Never even ridden that tire.
Yeah, the 53 was the one that had the offset knobs.
Can you pull it up? Might have
53 had offset knobs. And so with the 53, every time I would go into a corner, the rear end would want to roll up over the rut. And I couldn't get it to set in. Like I'm talking
Yep.
talking a 53 had to be like Carlsbad. If you were if it was ice, like almost blacktop, you could run that tire. But that tire, I would go just run a 34 every
Everywhere,
day, brand new, over running that tire. I would run that on concrete 34 over running that 53.
Yeah.
Just
right.
give me a fresh one.
Was anyone running those in Supercross?
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
Not after a while.
So this new one is supposed to replace
It's supposed
that.
to be the happy medium between the 34 and this 53. That's what supposedly it's supposed to replace this tire.
Okay. Yeah,
Which-
it looks awesome. But then I'm over here being the fucking... I've just realized that I'm just like the kook right now of the sport. Maybe not that far. But I think we need to
You need
have...
that other one. You need that other picture.
Oh,
the back
maybe
picture.
let's go to the third one. Maybe go to the last one, see if they got it. No.
Go back. Right there to the left. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. On Facebook.
Gotta love Facebook.
Let's go. Yeah, that looks great.
So you see how the contact patch of the side knob has that, like, is that a hexagon shape?
Mm-hmm.
So that's got a little bit wider of a contact patch, right, on that knob. So that's going to give you a little more stability on the hard pack, but the separation between the knobs is what's so key, because then you're getting the contact patch between, you know what I mean? You're getting the contact patch of that knob, but you're getting the separation to get into the dirt. So you're getting hookup.
So that's
but
what
with-
it is?
To me, that's what I'm seeing
Okay.
that I like. Because if you go back to the 53, go back to that 53. So look at how close
everything is.
you see how close everything is.
Yeah.
With a dirt bike, it's spinning so fast that there's a lot of contact
and
on
it
the ground.
stays on top.
Exactly. And you're
Yeah.
just kind of spinning, and that allows that tire to float over the top of stuff. Right? So you need certain amount of contact patch, but you need the separation between those to get
The traction.
the traction and the hookup forward. You know, like this is really good if you got a flat track, you know, and you just need contact patch and you're not really looking to get down into anything. But when have you ever seen like a dirt bike track that doesn't have hard pack with, like, at the end of that hard pack, it's got a little, bless you.
Pardon me. Ugh.
It's got a little hookup, you know?
Yeah.
And so that to me is the perfect in between.
So I'm going to be on this side with
Okay.
my wacky fucking ideas about Supercross.
We love wacky ideas.
I think that we should have some regulation around tires.
I 100% agree.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Not even a question.
Love that.
Yep. You don't even need to be on that side. I'm on the same side.
Really?
Full tire regulation. You should get A, B, or C, just like other sports, and that's all you can run. You don't get a week's worth of testing with Dunlop at a different thing, you know, testing one tire compound, sidewall compound, carcass, and rubber to see which one you like and which one you're going to run for the year.
I'm coming at it more from the track perspective because I think that there's, with no regulation, so, and this goes back to my argument. You remember at Parla a couple years ago when I asked the 250 boys if we should ban scoops?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them were like, yes, please ban scoops. Because the problem is you can't make the decision as the rider to ride the safe option.
Yeah.
So the safe option is an MX-34 at Parla. But if you do that, you're going to get 15th off the start and you're going to not win. And then the next guy is going to put on the scoop. They're going to get the whole shot. They're going to win the race. They're going to be
Yeah.
sketchy as fuck and they're going to feel like their life's in danger
Yeah.
the entire time that they're racing.
Yeah.
But the start is so critical that they have to do it. And then on MX Sports' side, they're tilling these starts as deep as they can because they're trying to slow down entry speed into the first corner, which I respect that.
100%.
So you've now created a problem. So you've taken from here and given to there, and then that's now created this unique problem. And it's like, why do we need that? Like if everyone is on the same, like let's say it's a MX-34. If everyone's on that, no one's at a disadvantage. And it's safe. That's
Yeah.
the safe tire. But when you're basically forcing these guys' hand, there's one tire that works for 150 yards of the track better. And then the rest of the time, it's like high point. Like, you don't want to be running a fucking scoop at high point. And it's also like maybe you do, but then you're just ending up like I think about 2023 maybe. One of the years where Sexton was just on Jett for the entire moto at Parla.
Yeah.
But Jett was in front from the start and held every inside for the entire 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So when you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G ruts all around the track, and you've got Jett Lawrence holding the inside position of those ruts, you're not passing Jett Lawrence around the outside. So then it's just a game of Moneyball. It's like, get the start, go to the inside.
Yeah.
That's it. And when you've got ruts up every jump face, you've got ruts coming into the turns, you've got ruts through the turns, you've got ruts outside the turns. And that's the same thing that we're seeing in Supercross. Like, to me, the best racing of last year was Gold Coast Supercross. Best racing of the year.
Yeah.
Because those motherfuckers were just grabbing gears, dude, down a 50-yard straightaway because it was so fucking slick.
Yeah.
Deegan's just just blowing every berm to pieces, and the crowd was losing their fucking mind, bro. It was the craziest shit. Not one rut.
Yeah.
On the track. And
Yeah.
to me, like, that's what Supercross was. And so we're just entering this time. I think that the track prep, I think that there's a bunch of dudes that make these tracks that get a fucking rock hard cock from having just an absolutely destroyed track at the end of every race.
Yeah.
And being like, look at that shit. That's fucking man shit right there, bro.
Yeah.
There's that. But then there's just free range to where it's like, yeah, dude, of course I want traction.
Yeah.
Of course I want to get the whole shot. Give me the tire
Yeah.
that's going to give me that.
Yeah.
So I just think that we've kind of cooked it. We've let it go too far, you know? So that's where you disagree?
Yes. And this is why I think that.
I knew you would.
Yes.
See? I
Yes.
knew you would.
So I do disagree on that part. I think you should have an option of 3 tires. And if the scoop is in there, I'm fine with it. And like, for instance, in the mud race that Kenny won, I think Philly. Was it Philly?
Yeah. He didn't have a scoop.
No.
Yeah.
And he got the whole shot.
Yeah.
Okay. And those other guys had scoops. So
Is that happening at Parla?
No, everybody's running a scoop. Everybody's running a scoop. But
Why?
Okay, but
Why?
What?
Why?
Because they want the whole shot. But
I'll rest my case, ladies and gentlemen.
But what is weird is the scoop's really good. It's better than people think.
No,
Like,
and especially that. Like,
yes.
that's a game changer.
Like, a scoop spec tire is so good. I mean, they're changing the compounds on the side of the tire.
Yeah.
So it works really good on the sidewall. But so if, what's the difference of everybody running this tire versus running the scoop? What's the difference?
Well, because it's the way that the tracks are getting so destroyed.
Yeah, but at the same time, is how much less is
A
it?
lot. You don't think a lot? You don't think so?
No, I don't think that much. I think these guys are too good. I think they're just gonna. It's too soft.
So there's that. But also, like, and that's where I think the spec tire comes in. So, like, Supercross.
I think
Supercross
just
has
the
to
guys.
go to Dunlop and say, like, hey, we need a Supercross tire. We need something that is going to give these guys the same amount of traction, but isn't going to cause the damage to the tracks that this is. Because, like, do you think the tracks are too bad? Like, do you think that it's too gnarly now when it comes to the tracks at the moment? Like, are we seeing the best racing? Guy to guy.
This is where I'm torn, and this is from my racing career.
Yeah.
This is where I'm torn. I love a smooth track, but I've had some of the most catastrophic accidents on a smooth track.
Mm.
And the reason that is because you go so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just here up, and you can scrub the living fuck out of it. You know what I mean? You are just fucking annihilated. And everybody's just right next to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. And the one flip side, I do think there needs to be maintenance at certain times. right? But the thing is the track slows down that little bit when it does get technical. The problem is where are those really bad spots at, and how do we fix those? Because I think the track needs to slow down. I don't think you can have this perfectly prepped track. If you have this perfectly flat Supercross track,
Yeah, the guys are just too good now.
they're too good and there's not enough passing. Because all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 guys that get out front and they're on this perfect track and they just go woo, 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 woo. If there's no deterioration, then there's no separation, right? Cooper Webb, everybody gets tighter. Every time there was a good track, I went from about 1.5 seconds off the leaders to about, a half a second.
Yeah.
So it was almost good for a full second when the track was flat and not really jacked up. So everything gets that much tighter and nobody's passing each other because they're just kind of single filing. So there has to be a balance of deterioration because that'll give you the separation, but also safety, right? So where is that balance? And to me, it's not coming from the tires. It's coming from officials and people that are past racers being like this. And like, this is something that I do too. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but if I see something on the track, I text head of Dirtworks, Alex, and I'll be like, Alex, this jump on section 3, you gotta fix this or something bad's gonna happen. Like, I can see it before it's happening. And I think you just need more guys knowing where are the bad areas of the track, where are these things gonna go wrong? Because we can see it before it happens. That's kind of like what our job is as racers, is knowing a problem area before it's a problem area. Because we have to switch lines or do a different rhythm or whatever the case might be, right? And so you need more people like that to see the problem areas, because I don't think the scoop is wrecking the track so much that it would completely, I would love to see it though, like just to test.
Yeah, just to see, yeah.
Just to test. Hey,
And
everybody.
why can't we do that?
We can.
But it never happens. Why can't we just say like, hey guys, these are your tire options. You can't run a scoop at this race.
Yeah, let's go like this.
Southwick,
All that would
Millville.
have to happen is you go, hey everybody, all the teams, we're gonna put a team text together at Millville. We want to try this season. Everybody is gonna run a 34 tire at this race. We want to see the deterioration development for this one race out of the year, and this is gonna be it. We want to do a test for 2027. Da 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 da. And I guarantee you, everybody would be on.
Well,
Not everybody.
I say you just got to
99%.
But I say you do it at Parlour, where it's like we know that they don't want to run the scoop, and I've asked them.
Yeah, like where it's hard pack, where
Yeah.
you could be like a track.
Yeah.
But dude, Paul is going to be jacked. That's a hard one because the track deteriorates so bad.
But when you got all 3 of the guys on the podium that said like, oh fuck, I wish I didn't have to run a scoop.
Yeah,
Like
why
that's just
not?
an easy one where you're just
Yeah,
like,
why
okay,
not?
so let's just make this
You
race.
can't. I don't think you might be able to pull it off this year, but you would have to do it next year.
No, yeah, do it. They're probably never going to do it. This is just me.
You never know.
Gassing into the wind.
No, dude, they listen to this stuff. Trust me. How do you think the tough blocks got changed?
Bro, they
How
listen-
do you think the nets got changed?
They listen and then just fucking hate me.
No, they don't. Somebody's got to say something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're going to be the bad guy, but you're also going to be the good guy. Everybody has bad ideas and good ideas, and you just got to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, I would love to see that. And again, like so much of like this would, if there was just things that did change,
Yeah.
then I'd be stoked
Yeah.
because I don't get everything right. I don't expect for these guys to get everything right, but I just want to see him have a crack.
Yeah.
I just want to see some,
Well, I think we did see
but
a
we
little
did
bit
the
of a
tough
crack.
blocks.
Yeah.
Massive.
Massive.
Great.
Dude, how much did that help?
Unbelievable. Yeah. It really, like, it's a problem solved. But again, people have been saying it for so
Yeah, it takes too long. It takes too long.
And this isn't a publicly traded company, bro.
Yeah.
If they literally wanted to say
They could do it tomorrow.
they could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why?
Well, I mean, you want to. Here's the deal. Dude.
The helmet comps, that's a hard one. That's a season to figure that out. That's a whole, there's a
It's not
whole
even.
effort.
It's not even. You know what it is? Guaranteed. I don't know how much Feld's worth, but it's got to be worth a lot of money.
Billions.
Okay, billions, right? No company is doing something overnight because of the liability, not to mention what Supercross. You want to talk, what's the bigger liability than Supercross?
Monster Jam.
There you go. Monster Jam 2, right? Liability. So they're not doing anything until they have figured out with their lawyers and all their stuff, because as much as they love the sport,
It's actually such a good point.
right? They have to spend, I guarantee you, they're spending millions just to even figure out what the deal is.
Well, all right. Okay, correct? Can you please pull up the video of the fucking track worker with the broken femur jammed into the back of the motorcycle? You want to talk about a liability, son? This ain't a good one. Oh,
Bro,
this was
Isaiah
tough.
Clark.
This was tough. That was tough.
I feel so bad for Isaiah.
Bro, think about the femoral artery. Okay? You want to talk about a liability? You want to talk about lawyers?
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, but that can't happen, dude. That fully can't happen. Like that, I don't know. Dude, when I saw that, that was a tough one. Because if I'm that guy,
The problem is
there's
that
a lawsuit in that.
there's red flag. You got the red flag. The problem is I'm sure that guy's getting trained. You know what I mean? And he's just trying. Dude, that guy, he's very rarely has maybe been in the chaos like that.
And that's a problem. So there's a whole. Is this it?
Nah.
Where is the video, dude?
Yeah, I don't even think Isaiah posted it. Oh yeah, he did. There it is.
Dude.
I don't even want to.
I don't know that I want to watch it either. But
I seen it live.
like listen, like you can
seen
you
it
can
live.
listen to it.
No! Don't listen to it.
Like this is not it, man. Like this really, that really is bad. And to me, when you talk about liability, and so that's where it's like, okay, we're talking like $1 billion company, right?
Yeah.
You gotta just pay the fucking crew to be is it the same crew every weekend? The flag is.
I'm sure they try to get as many as they can the same, right?
But like
I see the same ones a lot, but then I see them interchanged too.
But that's a huge deal.
Bell hires flaggers on their site. You can sign for certain rounds. They'll have it where you can sign up. Get
Yeah.
paid for the day.
Yeah.
I think more the problem is they don't train these guys for crashes. They just train them to pick up the bike as fast as they can, move it off.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I just think that
I don't think they're training them to pick up. I think that was probably that flagger trying to take initiative to keep that guy safe and didn't take the precaution.
I struggle with that one. That one that I'm looking at and I'm just like, man, I don't see the world where picking up the motorcycle with his broken
Yeah, but
leg,
okay, say his femur wasn't broken.
pull the leg out of the motorcycle before
That's what you should. That's what I'm saying. That's what you should have done first.
and drop down and just be like, hey man,
Is there more to the video? Did
you
that
okay?
person try to do it first, or did he not even see Isaiah on the freaking bike?
But I look at, if I'm Feld, I look at that, and that is a fucking nightmare. I'm like, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
We cannot ever have that happen because, again, that's a broken femur. When you have a broken femur, you can sever your femoral artery.
I've broken two.
And you're dead.
Yeah, done.
Over. That is literally a life and death situation. And there's chaos and there's like a lot going on. And it's like, that's a whole crazy thing. But that's where, again, we're playing, this ain't badminton. Like what we're doing is a crazy, crazy deal. And you need to have the highest level operations, and like that's a tough one, you know.
Oh, I know. Trust me, when I watched it, I was like,
they had to be freaking out watching that.
oh,
How many views has that got, by the way? Click on that shit. That one's got not many. Go to this one.
That one's got to have some on it, right?
It doesn't say. Oof. That's tough. That is
It's going to be down there a little bit.
tough.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, I think they might have their stuff turned off.
Fucking pussies.
They have their lights turned off, dude.
No, click on Reels. Click on Reels. Did you click on Reels? Go up, scroll up. Nope, scroll up. Click on Reels. Yep, right there. Does it show the numbers? Yeah, it does. See? I'll navigate. Scroll down.
You know what's up.
90.
90. That's not as many as I thought.
I guarantee you it'd have more, though. There's other places that have more.
Posted multiple times, so
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, that one's brutal, man. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, oh, if I'm working there, I'm like, this ain't it. This is a fucking, oh, that's bad. But yeah, like that could go so fucking wrong. And there's so much that you can't control for in the sport that it's like
That's exactly what that's like where my brain goes.
Yes, but so the finished thought of that is there's so much that you can't control for that you have to control for everything you can. Everything. You know, and that to me, that's one of those situations where I'm just like, that should be like a bit of a wake up moment for some people, because it's like it went good. So easily could have gone so fucking bad.
Imagine the implications.
Yeah. Scary, dude.
And bros got up and probably walked the next day.
Yeah, dude. The next day.
And it's like, yo, can't wait to be back for outdoors at WashU Gold.
Word for word. That's what he said, dude. Oh, that's the best shout.
Dude, fucking warped. Dirt bike riders are warped.
We're cooked.
Literally,
We're
in the words
cooked.
of Baby Deeks,
We're
we're
cooked.
cooked.
We're cooked. Oh my God. No, it's almost been 3 hours. What else you got? What else we got?
What do you mean, what else we got?
We got so much.
I mean, are we going to talk about the privateers or what are we doing?
What do you reckon? Are we handing out some cards this week?
We're going to do it at Paula.
Paula?
Yes, because I figured everybody's going to be there.
Ah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
So
my
what's your
plan.
idea? All right, I want to
Okay.
hear from you.
So this is the idea. I want to get, and I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to spoil too much, but my idea is just like you talked about, right? Talked about the rear tire thing. I want to get a set of particular questions, you know what I'm saying, that I write down on a card, like a ballot, right? And I maybe hand them to, a rider at whatever time. And we go, and just some of the things that I have an opinion on and I think that are looming. Possibly helmet comms, maybe be one of them, right? But I'm not going to expose what those questions are. And what I want to do
There's
is
going to be no names on the ballots.
no names. I don't want to know who wrote what. I don't want to know anything. I just want to get answers to these questions from the guys that are actually on the track, from top to bottom. And I want to take this ballot, we're going to put it in, and we're just going to tally them up and see what the actual riders think. And hopefully, not hopefully, I'm going to present it to some people and just say, hey, do what you want with it. This is what your guys on the track would like to see. Right?
I think it's a great idea.
What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I'm all about it.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, and two, that just goes to show you it's weird because obviously we talk about so much, right? We talk about all the stuff, Weege, Steve, Johnny, freaking everybody in the whole industry. We all talk about all the problems. We talk about what needs to change, yada, 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 right? But nobody really knows what the actual guys that are doing it want. And there's this, for me, is the absolute definite way to go, hey, these are the guys on the track. What do they want? This is it. There's no ands if, there's no black and white, gray, whatever. Bop, bop, bop. Do we want helmet comms? Do they not want helmet comms? Here's your answer. Vote was, I don't know who voted this way. I don't know who did it. 28 of the 40 guys said yes. This is your answer. I don't know if Eli Tomac said yes or no. I don't know if Cooper Webb did. I don't really care. This is what your top 40 said. Bop, bop, bop. Take it or leave it. And maybe, hopefully, that will help whoever needs to make a decision, make a decision. Right?
Yeah. No, I think it's an awesome idea. And yeah, I just think that what can be done about lappers? Like how many people should be making the night show, or how many people should be allowed to
on the
sign
gate?
up?
How long should AMA have to take for a penalty?
Yeah.
Should it be 24 hours, 48 hours?
Dude, it should be. So one of my biggest disappointments this year, so the Deegan penalty when he crossed over, like, dude, he did it. It was on TV. So it's like, is it a shit penalty? Is it not? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like you said, at riders meeting, that's what they said. He was obviously the best guy. He was obviously the fastest guy. He was going to win that race no matter what. Whatever it is, you go off track limits in F1, your lap gets deleted.
Bop, bop, bop.
It's just that simple.
Yep.
No matter what happens. So it's like, I'm not that mad at that. What I am completely and utterly livid by is the fact that Devin Simonson didn't get to stand on the podium. That, to me, is just the most fucked up thing one of the most fucked up things of this year. He probably will. But let's say he never gets on the podium again.
Yeah.
Bro, that photo, what would you give to have that moment?
Bro.
And to have that photo?
Your life. That's what he gave.
That's what he gave.
His life. Think about that. I'm sure you've seen it. But this shit opened my eyes. Some dude, and if you haven't seen it, answer the question. Okay? If I gave you $10 million right now, would you take it?
Yeah.
If I gave you $10 million right now, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how much life is worth.
Yeah.
More than 10 million. I would say you would even take $1 billion and you wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Devin Simonson dedicated something worth more than $1 billion fucking dollars to be on the fucking podium, and he didn't get up there.
Yeah. Over a black and white call. Like, to me, every call, like if you're making a call,
yeah.
If you're the guy that your job,
because that was the right call.
Yeah. And like, I'm cool with it. But it's like to rob that kid of that moment.
Yeah.
I just think is just so unfair. And to rob Club MX of everything that they work for, like I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
But you know what's weird? This is the weird situation, okay? And this is the shit that I don't really know, but I kind of know, right? This is the gray area. It's like they almost, and I could be wrong about this. But it's almost like somebody's waiting for somebody to complain too. Like maybe that's why that penalty was put a little later, because it was like kind of like, oh, he was a little squirrely. You know what I mean? Yeah. Are we going to give the penalty? And then this didn't happen. I'm not saying that because I don't know that. And then Club goes, bah, right after the race, they walk to AMA. They go, hey, what's going to happen here? And then the penalty is then formatted later.
Completely unacceptable.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is things that could have happened, because there are certain situations even this year that I think certain people are saying certain things, and that's why you're seeing these penalties later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not a real sport. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, at what point, in what football game do they overturn the winner of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but the thing is
the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, but there's so much going on all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just don't think that's acceptable. You know, like
What part, just to be clear, what part isn't acceptable?
the fact that you can have a completely black and white decision that takes like, what lap was that in the race?
It was on TV, so.
So it's like, dude, bang, done. Easy.
Yeah.
This is the rules. This is the call. And then again, fucking radio
Well,
comms.
okay, let's think about this though. So now I'm back in AMA standpoint. Do you think that Mike was watching TV at that time? Because who knows if he's seen that crash, right? Did he see that happen? Because Mike's in the booth, right? There's a booth where Mike is sitting up there ready to make calls, right? So essentially he's not really watching TV. So he has to watch the whole race, make sure that's done, then analyze the situation.
Yeah, but so, okay, in NASCAR,
Yep.
in Formula One, in MotoGP,
Yeah.
in every other sport, the penalties happen during the game.
Yes. Instantaneously.
Yeah.
But
so if everybody else saw it,
yeah.
then how does the guy that is the rules guy?
Well, he did see it, but then he has to make an official ruling, but he also has to finish watching the race that it's continuing that can't stop.
But if it's because if it affects the outcome of the race and the podium and all, like, you've got to just make that call.
Yep.
You can't do the podium until you know who was on the fucking podium.
Agreed.
Like, am I crazy to say
Nope,
that?
you are not at all.
Because again, like, you've just got this kid that spent his entire life.
Literally his life.
Dude, I would fucking kill to have that moment if I was him. I would be so
Let's
fucking...
just all pray he gets another shot.
I know. And that's the thing. What if
because
that's
he's such a good dude.
He is actually a super nice dude.
Like,
Hey? Yeah.
he's so cool.
I saw it.
Yeah, what if he doesn't get another shot?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the most criminal thing of all time, you know? And it's like, you just have to have, hey, Mike Pelletier has a shit job. That's a shitty job to be the guy that has to, you know, dig, and he was on a record-breaking streak of wins, and that is the call that, hey, fuck, that's the way the cookie crumbled, brother. That sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, you know what the big problem is? I think this is the big problem. This is, in my opinion, where it all went wrong was it Dallas or Houston? It was Dallas, right? That race that you pulled up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it all went wrong because there was a gray area. And that one gray area kind of rolled over into the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if we didn't have that single call. I feel like the rest of the year probably wouldn't have seemed as bad.
Yeah, but there's been so much shit where it's like, Vince doesn't get penalized. Vince
That's
does get,
my.
yeah.
Are we gonna get into that?
But Vince does
Are
get
we
penalized.
gonna get into that?
This happens. This doesn't, like, it. To me, it's just, and then Ezra Lusk quits. Why?
You know why? Come on, you know why?
I feel like I do know why. So
Would
it's
you
like,
want to be an AMA guy?
well, especially if you can't do anything, and if you're saying,
I don't even think it. I think it's partially, you know, obviously he wasn't Mike Pelletier and he can't do anything, but it's also partially you're fucking hated. You know, not hated, but you are like not the guy anymore. You know what I mean? You're not Ezra Lusk anymore. You're the guy that's always going to be on the bad side of a situation.
Yeah, but
no matter what.
But I mean, I kind of agree, but disagree, because like, if you're making the right call in the moment, so if Mike Pelletier makes this call that Deegan gets docked and the broadcasters know it, they tell us on the broadcast, like, oh, yep, we just got word from race control. That is, because that's what happens in every other sport. He's got it too. That promotes Devin Simonson to the podium. Maybe the Deegans are pissed, but they're pissed because of their first person perspective of the situation.
I'm still pissed.
But you'd be pissed if they docked him in the middle of that race?
No. I'm still pissed about the whole situation.
But so that's what I'm saying, is like, one person's going to be pissed that's on the shit side of the call. But if you make the right call, then no one else can complain. The reason why those guys, people don't like them, and why that's such a shitty position, is because they're just not making the right calls and they're not making consistent calls. And it's so easy for guys like me to sit here, play the video of the exact same thing happening and go, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
But if I can't go, all I do is go, yeah, fair. It's the dynamic's completely different, you know?
Okay, let's go through the situations though. Because again, this comes down to my point at the beginning of the show of communication. I think that they made the right calls. I think they've made the right calls on almost everything, right? So the Eli Tomac call, right? Let's just go back to that. If, like, say they go to KTM Red Bull takes AMA to the courts of, okay, he shouldn't be docked, right? Why shouldn't he be docked? Well, there's a rule in the rule book that this year, there's a rule in the rule book that there should be lead-in lights. So I'm saying Red Bull wins that. Technically, unfortunately, that's the right call because of the lead-in light, especially after what just happened a second before with Joe Shimoda. And then that's a lead-in light. So the rest of those guys don't get docked because it's a red light. They jumped. Well, that's a lead-in light that is in the rule books, right? Seth Hamaker, he gets docked 2 spots. The timely manner, unfortunate for Devin Simonson, really, really shitty. Right call, unfortunately. Hayden Deegan, right call. Shitty, should have been. My big thing is like, why are we just putting little fucking...
Yeah.
That seems so absurd to me. Our whole lives, we've been conditioned to know that is an outside track marker of an outdoor race, that I can tap that thing and kind of go around it as long as I'm close to the edge. And then that's what we're using to differentiate the lanes. I thought the differentiator to me was the berm. As soon as that berm was built up a foot, that to me says you can't cross as soon as the starting point of that. But instead, our whole lives, we've been conditioned to know that little track marker is kind of a gray area. We can go in and out and tag that thing, right? So to me, not really super solid, but again, communication, all the riders didn't know, still the right call, right? Was there a wrong call when you put it like that?
I mean, I guess the whole lead-in light, like, I mean, I still don't understand. And then for them to be like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like I just don't even think they understand their rules sometimes.
And maybe that's where again, this whole communication and the rule book thing needs to be dived into and perfected.
Like, how hard can it be?
I think it's really hard.
You reckon?
Oh yeah. Because I just looked up a rule in my phone the other day. I had to go look up a rule and listen to this rule. Listen to the verbiage on this rule and how hard this is to really understand. So this had to do with the takeout with Levi Kitchen where Caden Minear, because I'm like, this is total BS. Why did Caden Minear go a whole lap down? Right? Do you remember this call? So Levi Kitchen in the heat race pushes off Caden Minear on the checkered flag lap, and he has nowhere to go. And he gets a lap down and ends up 12th when he should have gotten into the main event. But listen to this. I had to figure this out. So ordering of results 1.7.8 section D, with the exception of the checkered flag lap, crossing outside of the designated finish line obstacle may be considered a completed lap by the chief scorer as long as the rider continues to race for at least one more completed lap. So I've just read that to you.
That was gobbledygook.
Exactly. So all that's saying is on the checkered flag lap, you have to cross the finish line. If it's a lap before and you go around the finish, the chief scorer can consider that a finish lap. But at the finish line, you have to cross the finish.
Even if you get hit off the track.
Even if you get hit off the track, which you probably should have to cross the finish line on the finish line lap, no matter what. Even if you get punted, you should finish the race no matter what. Right? But this, to me, have you guys pulled it up? Can you find it? This to me,
Let's see if they.
this to me seems like a rule that needs to be changed, or the verbiage needs to be different, because
Yeah.
there was a lane right next to
Go
it.
back. Yeah, here we go.
So he got a lap down because he didn't turn around and get back on the finish. Watch this.
Yeah.
So you didn't cross the finish line, but if it was any other lap, it would have been considered a lap.
Huh. Yeah, I miss this. Yeah, Caden Minear situation deserves a rule revision. Yeah, and so I think that's like one of my things is like, okay, so what is this rule book? And who's making these rules? Why do these this isn't really working for us.
Yeah.
I just think that there's been so many.
But then you have to introduce a
Lead
gray
in-
area.
Yeah, but lead-in lights, this flag. The flag wasn't waving. The guy the guys didn't have two shoes on. So if you don't have two shoes on when you
Yeah.
wave a flag, means that the flag only means half of what it did.
No, I
if you
get
had
it.
both shoes, like
I think it comes down to just the thing with like Isaiah Clark, more extents of training and just making sure
it has
everybody's
to
on
be
the same page.
Very serious. Again, we're racing for millions and millions of dollars. This has to be so serious.
Yeah.
And it has to be so black and white. The decisions have to be made on the field, and you should be able
I disagree with you on the black and white.
But the thing is like the rules should be so easy and so clear that the decision gets made on the field and the decision stands. There is times where football, they get decisions wrong, correct?
Yep.
But because it has to happen on the field, even if they make the wrong decision,
Yeah.
it has to stand.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things where we lose out. The rules are so fucking wishy-washy, whacked, complicated, that Mike Pelletier's sitting up there being like, I don't even fucking know. I would need to go back and figure this out. And that's a problem. And that's
Yeah.
where so many of these problems come in. Football, there's more things going on. There's
Yeah.
more players, there's more positions. There's so many more rules in football
Yeah.
than just 20 dudes riding around in a fucking circle.
Yeah.
Like, surely it's not that hard. And then you go, don't even get me started on the fucking sound rules. Like, what's that? Who's doing that?
Dude, and you know what I've heard? I don't know if you've seen the interview that I've done, but they said that's coming from the manufacturers, which I
They don't
really
want
want
that.
to know.
No, they don't want
That's
it.
what I've heard from Japan, that it's coming from the manufacturers. Because 1 week later, whoop, 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 in the stadium.
That's what I'm saying.
Monster Jam.
That's what I'm saying. So I understand, and I think that the manufacturers should make the bikes quieter, for sure. My new Yamaha, fucking pleasure to ride.
Yeah.
It is so nice, so quiet.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Yep.
I fucking hate going to parlor, and all I can hear is yo da 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 da, and I'm like just trying to chill with the boys, and I'm like, yeah,
Hey!
sitting right here, yeah. Fucking voice is gone every time I go to the track because oh da 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 da. Like, come on, guys, we have to come on. Surely we can make these
Hey.
bitches a little bit quieter.
How long until you think we're all on electric bikes?
2030,
Yep.
like
2035.
yeah, maybe.
All of us.
I
You know what I
still-
mean?
I love my gas bike.
No, I love my gas bike too. Like, gas bikes are the best.
I'm going to be very disappointed.
But we're almost like two-stroke guys to the kids now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like,
Definitely.
oh, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing like a good four-stroke, bro.
Hell yeah, brother.
There's nothing like a good four-stroke. Just barking. Those valves and that cam just turning perfectly.
There's going to be a point in time where I can go to the track and ride for longer on an electric bike than I can physically ride. And when that day comes, that's going to be a tough sell. Because right now,
Dude, it's already a tough sell, period, after riding a Stark and riding a Suron. And, dude, my son, all he's going to know is electric.
I
He
know.
hasn't even been on a gas bike.
Really?
Yes.
Ever?
No.
How old is he?
4?
Shit.
Dude, and they love it.
I was whiskeying into fences on
that's what I'm
PW50.
saying. It's smoother. It's easier.
Yeah.
The power delivery's perfect.
He'll be a better rider because of it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
But when we're talking Supercross and guys are getting fucking points docked and over
Bro.
brother.
It's
Get the fuck out.
I know people are going to hate me. But dude, if you don't know, it's not going to matter.
What do you mean?
Like a 2-stroke, 4-stroke in Supercross, it's going to be electric bikes eventually.
I think so.
I think it is too. I mean, dude, all the people talk about,
that's gay. No, I won't be going.
Hey, what's it like? It's going to be quiet. Dude, my son's not going to know.
Nah.
My son's not going to know. Imagine his son.
Yeah.
He's really not going to know. They're just going to know, bro, the fucking motor. You hear the difference of the Stark and the other one. Of the new
listen
Honda
how quiet
and
this
Suzuki.
thing is. You can't even hear it, dude. They're going to go the
They're
opposite
not gonna
direction.
know.
They're going to want it so quiet.
Yeah, they're going to be like, dude, you couldn't even hear a thing when I pinned it.
I knew the second the nipple came off my knobbies, bro. Like, that's going to be real. They're going to be doing that shit.
Yes.
But right now, we're making Mitch Payton pull his fucking hair out to meet a ridiculous sound limit that absolutely does not matter at racing Supercross.
No.
Why are we doing this?
No, it's silly. It's silly.
God, I'm such a hater.
Are you?
Am I a hater? I feel like I sound like a hater.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you're a hater. I think you just bring up
I just love
the
it.
shit that needs to be talked
I
about.
just love it.
Right?
I want it to be good.
Yes.
I want it to be great.
I just don't know. I think there just needs to be a limit. I think there is a means for sound, but what they're trying to do next year with I think it's 111 or 112, it's too much, bro. It's fine where it's at. I don't think it's not louder than Monster Jam. It's not hurting anybody's ears. I think the bike's quiet enough. It's a motor. Everybody wants to hear it. Like when you get a American muscle car and you're the first, what do you want to do? You want to hear it.
Whap.
Yes. When you hear it, when you turn a 2-stroke on, you want to hear it. You don't want to make it so quiet where it's like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's what everybody doesn't like.
Yeah.
It's fine. 114, great. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, now it's to the point where they're taking their air boxes and making, new panels that have no air box on the side to quiet it. I mean, at that point, what are we going to do to make the bike quieter?
Mm.
We're
Yeah,
just
there's
going to clog it up more.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of
We've hit the limit.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So I actually got scammed recently on a credit card, which was a nightmare to deal with. A dude in the UK bought $3,000 of Lego, believe it or not, and some Nando's. So I had to cancel the card, I had to wait for a new one, I had to dispute the charges, the whole deal. And this was the second time it happened to me. And it really just made me realize how important proper security is when it comes to anything to do with your money. And this is why I started using Cash App, which was awesome when they reached out and decided to help us out on the podcast. Your security deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way. With Security Lock, Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your Cash App settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. Learn more at cash.app/security. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Speaking of limits, how many people should be allowed to go to a Supercross race on a Saturday?
Okay, are we talking main event or night show? Or what do we think?
No, like just entries. How many people should be allowed to go to a Supercross race every Saturday?
Well, that's tough. That's tough.
Why?
Because Saturday is a whole different situation. I think it should be maxed out at 60. Maxed. 20 extra spots.
So 30 each class.
Yes. No, well, 60, 40 each class on the night show. Because I do really, really like 20 and 20. I really like the look of 20 and 20. You know, because like, I was thinking about this the other day.
Do you think you'd notice if it was a full gate of 18 though?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. You would not.
Yeah.
If it was 18, but I don't think the track would notice either. You know what I'm saying? Like, would the track notice?
Probably not.
Probably not. 18, 20. I think if you cut it down to like 15, but then how would it look, you know, as far as like on the track, and would it still feel like the chaos of Supercross? You know what I'm saying? If you cut it down, because you're getting to that point. Because the one big thing I've been thinking about a lot is cutting down riders. And man, it just doesn't look good at MXGP when they don't have enough guys.
Yeah, but that's because they've got 40 gates.
Yes,
And
I
there's 20
understand
guys.
that, but the track's also twice as big.
Yeah, you know the only time it looks bad? Down the start straight.
It doesn't feel the same.
No, what?
Doesn't feel the same.
You're only watching 5 guys on TV.
Yeah, but okay. That I don't think that's true. I think that maybe we have to watch 5 guys no matter what, because that's like our job is to like try to pump this shit up and do it. But dude, when I see people at Supercross, there's always somebody with some kind of shirt, and it's not the masses, but it is everybody. Just like in the back of the pack at F1, there's going to be way more Lewis Hamilton fans than there are for the guy in the fucking back. That's the way it's always going to be. But that crowd also makes up everybody as well. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see from the front to the back. Not everybody, but majority want to see from the front to the back in the stands, right? And there's only, when you think about it, there's only 20 of them. Think about all the riders in the world. There's only 20 guys on that, or 22 on that gate.
Yeah, and I'm fine with 20. I'm completely fine with 20. My problem, and I don't give a fuck whether they're a privateer
Yep.
or whether they're a factory guy.
Yeah.
My argument is more about what's the cutoff. Because there's a whole lot of guys that just aren't elite.
Not even close.
Not even in the same conversation.
Nope.
And they're just allowed to be there.
Yep.
And then it's like there is, you can fucking say what you want, but there are downstream consequences.
Yep.
There's, dude, World Supercross. Have you been to a World Supercross?
No.
Are you going to go to one this year with
I
us?
would love to.
You should.
Yeah.
It's fucking unreal, bro.
Yeah.
You get there at 11. I'm
Yeah.
doing the fucking commentary.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty cool.
I'm getting
you did
there
a
at
kick-ass job.
Thanks, bro.
You did a kick-ass job.
I'm getting there at 11.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what the actual fuck? Bro, Griff, one of my filmers,
Mhm.
he has to leave the house at 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
for a night show that starts 12 hours later
Yeah.
because he's got to get to a safety meeting before the first practice. Like, come on. What are we doing? And why? Because there's fucking 300 people that are allowed to go there and like try and sign up. And we've got to we have this arbitrary group of people that we 100% know that they're not going to be in the race. And yet we still have to arbitrarily filter them out.
Yes, but this is the hardest part about Supercross, and this is the part that really sucks. This is the part that sucks, okay? It wouldn't be like that if nobody got hurt. That is the number one problem. If you had every single guy that was actually elite level lining up on a weekend, we wouldn't even be talking about those guys because they wouldn't be making the night show, right? Like those really, really slower guys that are just picking up a paycheck because this is all they know and love, those guys wouldn't be able to be there and race, right? But because of our sport and how gnarly it is, dude, by the end of the season, there's barely anybody left, right?
Yeah, but there's still guys that go that don't make the fucking night show and make the main.
Okay, but I'm fine if you don't make the night show. If you're not on the track when the night show comes around.
Yeah, but
my problem isn't the night show. My problem is the racing, right? If you're in the actual night show and you're X off, you're out. That's a number one issue right there. Because that's like dangerous for the other riders, period. In my opinion. If you're X amount out, there should be a cutoff for top 40, and there should be a cutoff where if you're not within this amount of seconds of the top guy, you're not racing, period. Sorry. It is what it is. Because it's a danger to you, and it's a danger to the top guys.
So you don't have a problem with the fact that we spend so much time
what,
on these
yeah, but
other
what's
practices?
so much time? What's so much time?
So you get
Because
there.
there's only been B practice and A practice so far, like probably 6 rounds now.
Yeah,
for 450.
So look, why can't we just do that all the time?
I mean, how much time does C practice actually take? 10 minutes?
No, but they're
Times
doing it
2?
Yeah, twice.
So 20 minutes.
Yeah, but then 40 minutes when you add in the 250 class. And when you're...
Okay, well, are we going to bring up All-Stars?
I don't
mean, SMX Next?
I don't think they should be racing the same.
No.
Like, I think that's a failed experiment in terms of putting them on the night program.
Honestly, and I want to say this to
With-
all the with all
the
due
most
respect. With the most respect
Yeah.
humanly possible.
Yeah.
SMX Next should not be on the races on Saturday. It's bad for the kids. It is terrible.
I completely
And
agree.
this is why, dude. So you're telling me you're taking these SMX Next. I've seen so many red flags in this SMX Next class.
It's been crazy, bro.
It's bad. It's bad. Like, it's weird because it's the best experience and the worst experience. And the reason that is because these kids know they don't have to go to Loretta's.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything.
They
You
just
know what
gotta
they
do
have to do?
One fucking good
They
race.
got to perform
Yeah.
on the gnarliest track in the gnarliest conditions in front of all of the peers that they look up to, in front of 40,000 fans, in front of every single solitary, team manager that's possibly going to give them a ride. And so you're putting kids that aren't ready. That's the whole point of this experiment. Kids that aren't ready to race Supercross in a situation that's more stressful than the guys who are already racing Supercross.
Yeah.
Put those kids on Friday. Let them do an SMX Next finale, maybe if they're ready. Get them ready on the track where there's no pressure. Take everybody out of the stands. Make it a day race so it feels like practice.
Film it. Put it on
Film
TV.
it.
Yeah, put it on the...
Highlights on TV so
Yeah.
they're not under even more pressure.
Yeah.
Highlights on TV. And then the champions of those get to race underneath the lights. Or even, how about this? You don't have to do the right. You don't have to be pro, but the top 5 get a free race in like the 250 class at one round the next year prior or something like that. So you don't have to move up officially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or have a SMX Next finale at a certain race.
Yeah.
Something. This is insane to me that how much pressure these kids are under. I would want my kid to do it because you're getting the experience. But the first thing I would tell my kid literally is, dude, I don't care if you go out there and get dead last.
Yeah, but what kids listen to that?
None.
Yeah.
Not one.
It's
Because they know everything. All their dreams are this close. And they're willing to risk it all.
Yeah. Man, the Ryder Malinowski crash at A1. Yeah, I'm like, bro. That I've never actually spoke about it, but I'm glad you said it because I'm 100% on board. But so this is what I would love to see, right? So like in terms of my plan and my thinking, it's like, hey, if you want the fucking photo in the stadium on the bike and you want to fill the pits out and you want to like, because there is an argument for the privateers. They make the pits better. There's people bro, trust me, I have gotten every side of this story.
Yeah.
I've gotten every DM. I've gotten every email. I've gotten every bit of feedback. I feel like I am now hyper aware of this issue. More aware than I ever wanted to be of
Yeah.
this issue.
Yeah.
And there is people that are like, you know what, dude? Like, I fucking take my kid and I can't get a Deegan autograph.
Yeah.
It's a lottery. Like, you've got to spend your entire day to get
Just
a Deegan
sitting in line.
autograph.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
you're gone.
Yeah.
But I can go to a privateer guy. He looks the same to my kid and he gets an autograph and it makes his day at Supercross and he's a lifelong fan. And I'm
Yeah.
like, respect. That's actually a great point, you
Yep.
know? And so there is a benefit, but why can't we? So we do press day every Friday, right? The whoops are never always fully done. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's have our privateer main event or our B main, whatever it is, and that's press day. And then the people, the media that are coming, the factory riders get maybe a practice, whatever. And then there's the proper B main, and then there's the futures main. And then there's like everything that all of the media attention and the local news, the big guys are there selling the sport, and the other guys are actually racing.
Yeah.
We're not having a factory dude practice going around some sections because that's all it really is. It's just
Yeah.
another kind of practice. They're testing some shit. They're trying settings.
They are hyping up the race though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think that you could put the futures race there, film it. Bro, Wes.
They already did do that. They
When?
did practices for futures on Friday before.
Yeah. And
They've done it.
Dude, they're doing the pulp race.
Yeah.
Like, what? Let's do that.
And okay, here's a whole nother idea. There could even be qualifiers and certain races at certain events. So only do it every other event where the top 40 move on no matter what. So if you make it at Anaheim 1, that's your first one. Top 40 roll on to the next week. And 2 weeks later, there's another qualification allowing you to get into that top 40.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. And maybe even do it that way. And plan it out. Only at domes are we doing SMX races. That way we know it's a controlled environment and there's no rain and it's not going to get canceled.
Yeah. 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 I think that there's a ton of things. And again, it's like just change something because
Yeah.
there's so many of the problems that, helmet comms. What about the privateers?
Yeah.
We can't do this. What about the privateer? What about?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I don't think what's wrong with the privateers with that helmet comms.
oh, well, they can't afford it.
Well, why would they afford it? I mean, I think that should be something that AMA or Feld is
But-
presenting.
So, okay, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
No one presented me with my microphones and headphones.
Yeah.
I had to pay for them.
Yeah.
And if you can't afford it,
Yeah. And if you can afford a dirt bike, you can afford a helmet comm.
well, and if you can't, if your business is not making money
Yeah.
and it's not profitable,
Yeah.
and this is like my ultimate, and maybe this is like the Australian in me,
Yeah.
but it's like all these same guys that are fucking screaming at me
Mm-hmm.
that privateers deserve to be are the same motherfuckers that believe that people shouldn't have free healthcare. So it's like you're a socialist when it
Yeah.
comes to privateers.
Yeah.
And a fucking hardcore line in the sand Republican about everything else.
I mean, that's how it works. My stance on the whole thing is that I needed that platform. This is coming from 100% experience. And I'm looking at it from a kid that had a dream and wouldn't have a dream if there was no privateers, because I didn't come from a family.
But did you
That was a
aspire
racer.
to be a privateer?
No, nobody does. Nobody's aspiring to be a privateer though.
But that's an argument. That's what I get. Dude,
No, privateers are just riders that are in between what they want and where they're at right now. That's it.
So, yes, okay. I literally have people that are like, if you get rid of privateers, you're going to kill every rider's dream. And
Yeah, but I
I
think the
reply
art-
to those people and say, if your fucking son is dreaming of being a privateer, he's a loser.
Nobody wants to be a privateer, but you got to earn your spot too if you're not that guy.
Wait, what?
Yes, 100%.
You just don't have a right to be on a Supercross state? What do you mean, bro? But that's the thing. And so that's a legitimately an argument is like, if you take away privateers, then
Yep.
no kid is going to be able to dream to be a Supercross rider. Everyone was a privateer once.
I think
What year did I miss Eli Tomac being a privateer?
probably when he was on like 50s.
What year did I miss Jett Lawrence being a privateer?
He might have been.
When?
He might have been as an amateur for sure.
Okay, but that's not what we're for. There's no Formula One factory driver. You work to the point where you're so undeniably good that you get put into that seat. There's no privateers in Formula One, yet there are millions of kids racing go-karts right now that dream of being Formula One drivers and will make it if they're good enough. That's it.
Yep.
There should be other races. There should be other places that you go to get there.
Yep.
But the reality is if you're not good enough, you can be a privateer for your whole life and still not be good enough. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't have dreamed to or that you shouldn't have a way to make a living racing a dirt bike. But it's like at some point, you're not going to be the elite of the elite of the elite. And you can't expect to race on the same track as the elite of the elite of the elite.
Okay, so what do you consider elite?
Someone that isn't getting lapped twice in a main event.
Okay.
Without crashing, without like obviously you crash, you're gonna like if you can't stay within 2 laps of the winner of a Supercross race without anything going wrong, you're not elite.
Okay, but here's my argument with that though. So you also this is my argument with that because I've been lapped twice quite a few times, right? I would have never been lapped twice if I wasn't the one making sure that I got the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, but so yeah, you were good enough. Like, so let's say you and Eli go to the test track
Yep.
and pump a 20.
Yep.
He's not lapping you
No.
twice. Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's
He's
elite.
probably not even lapping me once.
That's elite.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's other guys.
But that's perfect situation.
Yeah. But that's I'm saying that's meritocracy. That's like a level that
Okay,
you
but
are
who's
at.
making the main that isn't elite? Like, who are you considering?
But I don't have a problem with the people in the main.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
People
cool. So
have this shit
we've
twisted.
yes. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to clear up.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to clear up. So people in the main are elite. If you make the main, you're elite.
Yes.
So we are talking about
I'm
probably
talking about
30 to 40.
Yeah.
Okay. So my only argument with that is that, again, now you're back to the whole situation of at the end of the year, you're only going to have, 10 guys on the gate of a 20-man gate.
But so there needs to be a place for these guys to race. A la the pulp race. That's happening tomorrow. There's going to be those guys, right? And if you give these guys a platform and if you give these guys a place to race, you're building the track. The track's done Friday.
Yeah.
Like, let them race. Let's do it. You can do it one round for the year. Why can't you do it for the rest of them? And maybe you don't do it for the rest of them. Like you said, maybe there's it's a much smaller series. You've got to carry a certain amount of points to automatically qualify.
Yes.
So like, I would love to see, so like A1, if you get 16th, 16 to 20, you're not safe.
I think if you've made the main, I think you should be safe.
Well,
For night show.
Yeah. Night show's fair. I would love to see, so like there's a points cutoff and you've got to be in the top 16 to be safe, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then there's these other opportunities for guys to basically like get themselves into that conversation to where like the bottom 4,
Yeah.
you're going to have to go through the Friday race qualifier.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And then that's a way better platform. Like, I can't remember who I was talking to about it. Mate, you remember when Cole won the fucking
Glen Helen thing?
Colt, yeah,
Yeah.
won the Glen Helen thing.
Yep.
I talked to him after it. I'm like, how good did it feel to just cross the checkered flag first?
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck, dude, best feel. I haven't had that since I won my championship.
Yeah.
Best feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like, all of those guys, if you just watch those races in a vacuum, they're amazing and they're entertaining.
Yep.
And so it's like, let's do that. Let's give those guys a chance. And then that's a whole nother thing. And like, people get pissed off, and I said it to piss people off, but it's like, I can literally make a career out of not talking about these guys.
Yep.
Let's make that not a thing.
Yeah.
Let's make it so I'm missing out by not talking about these guys.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole thing. It's a cool series. It's a race. It's a series within the series. And then we want to pay attention. Colt Nichols has swept every one of these things this year. Or this Aaron Plessinger missed 5 rounds from injury, and now he's got to go and race the Friday race. Yeah. Like, I mean, I just think that there's a way better way to do it. It just puts such a premium on those top guys. It respects the track time. And, you know, you want to say, like, the guys don't want to do the press conferences. The guys don't want to do media. Well, they've got to the track at 7. Yeah. It's now 11. Yeah. And they're over it. They've just had to wait around all fucking day.
I really do, though. I don't think that eliminating the privateers, like that 30 to 60, is going to help Saturday that much.
I'd completely disagree.
So how is it going to help Saturday?
Time.
What, though?
But so you want to
calculate it up for me.
But you want to say, so
calculate it up for me.
It's 40 minutes of track time.
Okay.
Then plus you add the futures, so that's 60 minutes.
So now we're talking.
Yeah. So now that's an hour of time, right?
Yes, but that's 1 hour.
Yeah, but
that's it.
But think about how much damage can get done to a Supercross track in an hour.
I get that, but think how much damage they can fix in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but do you think that they do?
Yes.
Like, you think that it goes back to a clean slate?
Yes. I think there's almost as much damage in the heat races than there is, like, heat races in LCQ is as much damage as there is in practice. Without a doubt. I don't think that cutting those guys out is going to help the track.
But so what about condensing the schedule to the point where
then you're cutting out track maintenance?
Yeah, but no, if you're condensing the schedule to the point where guys can, like, they get in, they know they've got, like, because right now, and even I feel like this, I go to a Supercross race and I want to watch the A practices, and then that's it.
Yes.
So I'm just fucking around all day.
Yep.
So there's got to be a way where if you eliminate an hour worth of other shit on the track, that you could make it so that you can go for a shorter amount of time, see the guys that you want to see race. Yeah. Those guys can get there a little later. They like, it's just more focused around them. I feel like we don't prioritize the top riders in the sport as much as we should, you know. They don't do media throughout the day. They don't do anything. Like, and when you go to these other championships, like you go to Formula One, you go to MotoGP, like, the guys have time and they're, like, making them do certain things. There's real shit gets actually done. These guys, they go there, they wait, they sit in their motorhome, they hide away, they don't do shit. They've got to get there at 7, they leave at fucking 10, 11. I just feel like it feels like going to a club day. Yeah. And that's what I don't like.
So there's definitely some variables, obviously, you know, and it's like, I know that people don't like comparing F1 to us, but whatever. I don't care. The variables that I'm looking at are, one, the tracks are there for years and years and years. There's no real track maintenance other than drying out the track and sweeping the track and making sure that's good. So that eliminates a lot. The other thing that eliminates a lot is that that's a 3-4 day event. You know what I'm saying? So that is a whole thing in itself. Saturday could be insane if Thursday was privateer day, or, you know, make night show, suss that out. Friday was practice. You get all that done. And then Saturday, all you do is one, you know, scheduled time, and then night show, and that's it. You know, kind of like the SMX deal. So much better. But then you have this whole other ordeal that these guys have rain, all this other stuff, and you have to be in and out of a stadium within a couple of days. So that opens that can of worms. So it's a lot of planning, a lot of getting better. It's definitely possible, and something needs to change, because I do agree with you. I love KTM juniors. I love the SMX Next, but do you want it to be professionals and you want it to look like these guys are these superstars at F1, or do we want to just have everybody be part of the party? Yeah. You have to make that decision, right? And to make it bigger, I do agree that you have to make these guys look more special. And putting the guys that are rookies on the track and the pro guys on the track is making it look like kind of anybody can do.
And then like some Stasic races and some this
right?
and some that and some. Like,
so these are things that should be going out maybe in the parking lot. And I'm just like thinking out loud right now, right? So these are the things that I think that you could do to make it better. But to me, Friday, indoor stadiums, you got to figure out, suss out. That should be the day where, okay, top 20 from the week before, they've already made the main. Top 40, we're going to find that out on Friday. Indoor stadiums, you do qualifier at Anaheim, you get that one done. That's your top 40 for 2 weeks. Then you do another qualifier. That gives these guys time as privateers or whoever that might be to kind of lace up and be ready for the next one, right? Another thought that just came to mind, that's hard because you're doing 250 West Coast, East Coast. So that might not work either. So these are just thoughts I'm running through my mind. But something has to change for sure, right? I mean, it's just so many variables behind the scenes that you're trying to think of, that you're trying to get by. You know, and I don't think that 1 hour on Saturday is making the world a difference. I don't think so. And the hard part is I grew up from being a privateer. If I didn't have that opportunity of not making the night show, making the night show, I mean, dude, my first year, I qualified first ever main event. I just stepped into the 450 class. Didn't even ride a 250, was just too big. Qualified 28th. First weekend. Next one, qualified like 47th. Didn't make the night show. Then I kind of had to figure it out, right? And the only reason that I had the ability to be where I was because I had the exposure of Saturday. That's it. If I wasn't on TV and doing all that stuff, I would have never made it. So that's my problem with only doing it on Friday. You know, if you're only on Friday, you're never going to make it, which does eliminate people. You know, if you're not the elite of the elite, that's where you're going to come up, where it's like, hey, you want to try this and you think you got it? Friday's a good day for you. You're going to find out if you're going to make it or not, you know? But if I didn't have that exposure of making it into the main and having a top 40, you would have never seen 7 Deuce Deuce. I would have never been part of this sport because I wasn't raised from a little kid. I got 28, 30, 35 at Loretta's. That was the only way to get a ride. That was the only way. I talked to Kevin Crowther back when he was the AMA head of AMA. And the only reason I even got in was because they wanted to test the arena cross theory of like kids that would qualify for arena cross. And so he said, Adam, there's a 450 class. You make 3 main events in a row and get X amount of points. We'll give you your 450 license. That's how it worked out. And I was the very first person to do the road to Supercross through arena cross. And that's how that worked. That's how that whole thing started. Because there was arena cross before that. They tried that stuff. And so I got my 450 points through that. And then as I found more exposure and was at Supercross, I was in the right spot to meet people. And then as soon as I met people, I got more money. And then once I got more money, my program got better because I had the talent. I believed in myself from a little kid.
Yeah, you were a very good rider.
But I didn't have the resources, dude. If I had what Tomac had and my dad and my parents knew from a really young age, if my dad was world mountain bike champion, I probably would have been top 10 every single week. But we were slamming Red Bulls and drinking Taco Bell or slamming Red Bulls and eating Taco Bell at Glen Helen on a Saturday, driving 4 hours, you know, that morning at 3 a.m. trying to win the beginner class. And I'd just go out and fucking win that shit. And we thought we were the shit. And then you find levels to the stuff and you don't realize it. And my dad and mom own a fence company. My dad never rode dirt bikes. Mom, no racing background, and just did that shit. You know what I mean? And so without being able to get there on Saturday, I would have never even had the opportunity.
It's a great point.
So that's tough.
I think that there's a way to make that story still happen.
Yes.
You know?
There for sure is, and keep these guys, keep the A group elite.
Yeah.
And then have a window to where these guys can do that.
Yeah.
And I think the more and more I think about it and the more I process it, it's Friday, because that grows the sport too. Because you know what Friday says? More revenue, more money, baby. More money, we can make it bigger. And then it makes it more of a spectacle. All these big events, all the big stuff, they just keep adding days to the event.
Yeah, it's so
Hype
true.
before. Why isn't Justin Brayton and Weege and AC out in the parking lot Friday talking about blah, 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 when all the privateers and all the guys are trying to qualify for the top 40 and making this a whole thing and hyping it up? I mean, how many times have we seen game day hype ups with Pat McAfee the day before the game? I mean, that's where you have to go, right?
Yeah.
It's already proven formula. It's like a cake recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I don't, it's literally got nothing against privateers. It's just a skill thing and it's a ceiling thing.
Yes.
And it's like, there just has to be, it's like a floor and a ceiling. The ceilings move so fucking high
Yeah.
and the floor didn't come with it.
Yeah.
And it's that simple, you know, like things have to move relative.
I get that. So I think your first step, right? It has nothing to do with the privateers. So your problem essentially doesn't have anything to do with a privateer or anything like that. All you're saying is the amount of seconds, which I 100% agree with. So at this, if you don't make 4 seconds, you're not making the night show.
Yeah.
And that way you have a goal. Okay, I got to make this and I got to be within 4 seconds.
Yeah.
That should be totally okay.
Yeah. And right now it's just not that.
Because, and the big problem is like we just talked about, you have the whole season where all these guys, where it's not even a question at Anaheim 1 that it's within that. I mean, these dudes are cooking, right? But then you get down the line and these guys get hurt and another guy and another guy and another guy and another guy. And all of a sudden it's whoever's here makes the night show because that's top 40.
Yeah.
Right? You don't even have to qualify. You just got to show up. If you rode the track, you're top 40.
But I still think that's not good.
No, that's not good.
Yeah.
But I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Because you can't have Tomac running around the track.
No.
Going that fast.
And as soon as something catastrophic happens, we're all going to be like, what the fuck are we doing this whole time?
Yep, that's usually how it works.
And it's getting closer and closer and closer. I just feel like we're seeing more close calls, more gnarly shit. Like, and I mean, I'm not the lapper thing. Like, they deal with lappers in every sport.
Sport.
I'm not even that mad at it.
Yeah.
I'm mad that there's things like actions. There is things that could make it better, and we don't do them.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not even saying like privateers are the lapper. There's just so many things that I'm like not saying that people are attaching themselves to.
Yeah.
But it's just that. It's like the ceiling's here and the floor stayed down here.
Yeah.
And if we want to be serious about what we've got, the floor has to move up.
Yep.
That's the carrot that you need to chase.
Yep.
Because you're never going to get a factory ride if you can't even get to here.
Yeah.
So it's like, get to there, then start thinking
Well,
about
I don't
your
even
factory
care
ride.
if you make a factory ride because I didn't technically have a factory ride.
Well, and now,
but
like,
you can make a living
yes,
if you are fast enough
yes,
to do it. But
Yeah.
you have to be in that group, and being at the bottom end of that group is totally okay. I am 100% fine with that because you have to find growth. The number one thing that happens in life is when you hit the floor, you figure out, how to get it done, right? When you see, okay, holy shit, I'm way off. I got to figure this out. And you're going to find the guys that are going to figure it out, and you're going to find the guys that not. Like, for instance, one guy that I love watching, Privateer Tristan Lane, getting better and better and better every year. I remember Tristan Lane when he was way, way at the back. When I was like seeing him for the first time riding a 450, and now he's putting moves on all kinds of factory dudes, making it every single week. And I guarantee you, with a guy like Tristan Lane, if you gave that dude 250 grand, that kid would come out, be a main event guy every single week next year, and possibly even get to the top 10. But
For
without
sure.
being on that stage and finding that money and being hungry, he's never going to get there. Because if you don't, it's so funny because so many people are like, oh, it's the bike, it's the bike, it's the bike. It ain't the bike. It's not the bike. It's not. You know what it is? It's you.
It's the program.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I can
It's
invest
you.
in this. I can get sleep. I can pay for the right food. I can pay for a mechanic. I can all that.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
It's being
you.
able to invest in yourself.
Thank you.
It's no different to this.
No.
Like the more money I get, the more money I spend, the better everything is.
And then all of a sudden,
And
more
and
views,
things go
more
up.
this.
And it compounds and it compounds. It's the same shit.
It's the exact same.
Yeah.
But if you don't got the money, you ain't going to get there.
Yeah.
And if you ain't on that stage, you ain't going to get there. And that's my problem with the Privateer series on Friday.
Yeah, but the sport
Dude.
would cover it.
Yeah, but it would be a highlight. You know it would.
Yeah.
It'd be a highlight.
I feel like
It'd be a Friday live stream
yeah,
and
which
then a
is fine.
Saturday. It'd be like Friday live stream and then like
but we
a
don't
Saturday
see
program.
those guys anyway.
I guess you're right. Because on TV,
Yeah, you don't see
it's
them.
it's pretty rare.
Yeah, you don't.
It is
see-
pretty rare.
So I don't think that matters that much. But
I think
hey,
it matters a little bit,
I think it matters probably for their own internal perception.
without a doubt.
Mate, this was awesome.
Jesus,
4 hours.
Was it really?
3 hours and 53 minutes. And that camera's about to stop recording. So
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, perfect timing. Good
Appreciate
shit,
you, bro. So
Appreciate
Kenny's
you.
getting it done.
Oh, dude, Kenny's getting it done.
Yeah.
And the soda fuel's fire, bro.
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to come home with like,
I'll get you some.
how many do I get?
We got some here.
Like what? Like a dozen or like?
Yeah, easy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Light
Perfect.
work.
Yep.
Love
light work.
that. This was great. You're one of my favorite people to do this with, honestly. I wish we did it more, but this is just the free flowing bullshit that we can spit and the fun and the vibe. You bring it. I love it. I love everything that you bring to the sport, bro. I really appreciate you. You're a fucking good dude.
That means a lot. And Gypsy, dude, I really appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for this sport, the platform that you built for all of us. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to be on the podcast with you. And thank you for being opinionative. Thank you so much, but also for being open.
Mm.
I think that's something a lot of people are missing, and I really appreciate that.
Thanks, brother. And you need to help me out when I walk into a Suzuki dealership and buy a fucking Suzuki.
Hey, we got it.
If Kenny wins, I said I'd do it. I'm gonna have to do
Hey,
it.
we got Wheeler dialed, dude.
I'm gonna have to do it. If it happens. If it happens, we're
Get the
doing it.
checkbook out, my boy.
Thanks, Supercross fans. Hopefully you've started this and finished this with just the right amount of lead in into Salt Lake City Race Day Live. We're going to drop this guy for you guys on Saturday morning. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for an awesome Supercross season. Whoever wins, Kenny or Hunter, it's going to be a very, very well-deserved champion. And yeah, I'm just fucking excited. I can't wait.
Here we go.
Heart's going to rip out of my chest for one of them, though. Fuck.
Love it.
Oh, love it.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.